Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Fremont, New Hampshire, when a wanted woman disappears, police don't know where to turn until an unexpected source leads them to a house of horrors. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week. A tremendous amount. We're so happy to be here. We're excited.
Yeah.
We hope you guys are excited. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode.
That was fun.
Out in the cornfields of Iowa there, in the woods, we should say.
I think that might be the first one that we have that we kind of just left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's just no, there's
we
really
don't know.
No closure.
There's no clue. Well, we had that one in Michigan in the very beginning, but there's some. It was one of those where who knows? It's confused.
What the fuck?
Not a lot of confusion this week, as we'll get into. Crazy story this week, and wow, we have a line of stories in the next few weeks, right through the holidays that are just insane, and this one is going to start it out. And honestly, they've been crazy. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody for the reviews this week on Apple Podcasts. That purple icon. We don't know why we need to get reviews. We don't understand why, but they really, really help out the show. So if you want to help out the show, that's a good way to do it. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. No. You can say you're following instructions. You can say, these guys made me do this. Right. It doesn't matter. But the 5 stars helps us on the business end, helps drive us up the charts. More people see it, and it helps the show. So that would be wonderful if you could do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Very important to do that stuff also. No tickets available right now. now for Small Town Murder live shows. Milwaukee, Chicago, end of the year are sold out. So is April's Zany show in Nashville. But we are announcing, and it's going to be soon in the next couple of weeks, a full slate of 2020 shows. And if you want to make sure to get those, follow us at Murder Small on Twitter, Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, because we announce on there first. So we know you guys, a lot of you like to jump on those tickets early, and some of the smaller venues sell out pretty quick. So you want to get on top of those. Also, tons of new merch up. So head there. All the very cool cheer up bitch with the skeleton thing.
All the new tattoo designs.
It's pretty
rock and roll.
Pretty cool stuff on there. So check all of those out. There's also new things on there that the Threadless people have done. It's pretty cool. So get into all that. Check it out. Also, listen to Crime and Sports. Links there. I don't know if you're not listening to Crime and Sports, you're missing out.
What's wrong with you?
Good week to start this week. It's like an old timey race car driver. So there's not a lot of stats. It's just a crazy guy that goes through the 40s doing just pillaging.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking punching cops, shooting Marines, slashing at people's faces.
Bitches.
He's a crazy guy. So
if you want to find out also why Lenny Dykstra tweeting at us matters, go listen to Crime and Sports.
And it's hilarious.
It's great.
You'll go, why is this?
Who
is
the
funny.
hell? Oh, that guy.
That guy. Wow. If you want to be one of our heroes, a producer who we're going to talk about at the end of the show, we're going to gush about at the end of the show how much we appreciate these people. You can become one of our producers. Again, very easily. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/crimeandsports or head over to PayPal and you can use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com, and you can make your donations there. And good God, is every dime so appreciated.
It really is.
Thank you guys for everything you do for us. Speaking of that, there will be a bonus episode out tomorrow of Small Town Murder. It'll be an actual story, and it's going to be in the next town over from the town we're doing today. It kind of ties into that. So pretty interesting stuff, almost a companion piece. The stories aren't the same, but it's the next town over.
You like those things.
I do. Yeah. I like to connect it all together.
Stay in the same state. Yeah.
You know how that works.
Give you an extra.
I give you an extra. That's how it works. So if I think it's the $5 or above level, that's to say thank you to you guys. Also, our voicemail, if you want to leave a voicemail, is 602-759-0606. Questions, comments, whatever you want, and we kind of go over them sometimes on bonus episodes.
I like to address them.
So we'll address that stuff there. And we got to do the disclaimer quickly, very quickly. This is a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy podcast. We're comedians. We're going to make jokes. There will be death and murder, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to make jokes all around it and find what's funny. But what we don't do is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victim's family.
Why would we do that?
Because we're assholes. But we're not scumbags. That's how it works. So if that sounds good to you, man, are we going to have a good time. If you don't think that death and comedy should ever mix in any way, shape, or form.
This is not for you.
It's not for you.
No.
I mean, it's not the real world.
No.
If you ever watch a homicide detective, they're not going to show up and go, oh, no, there's another body. They're going to show up and make jokes. And we don't even do that. We're not making a joke about a dead person.
No.
But, if you think they shouldn't go together, it's not good. But if you want to have a good time and sit back and just hear a crazy story, some jokes around it, well, then I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time to sit back and shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go on a trip.
Okay.
Shall we? Oh, let's do it. All right. We were in Iowa.
Yeah.
We're going all the way up to New Hampshire.
It's cold
this week. It's cold, as you know, up there. We're going to Fremont, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Fremont, New Hampshire. It's southeastern New Hampshire, kind of a little outside of Manchester.
Oh.
In that area.
I'm familiar.
You're familiar with that area. It's not the Panhandle.
No.
There's a Panhandle
It's
up top.
way up tip.
Up at the tip. But
top.
You could use it to pick New Hampshire up with, I would say. If it was like a cracker with some stuff on it. There's a piece.
New Hampshire's almost a pizza.
It's almost it's almost a slice.
That's the area you might hold it.
You can pick it up by down there in the southeastern part of it. It's about 35 minutes to Concord, New Hampshire. Concord.
Yep.
About an hour. It's Concord. I don't care
I know
what those people say up there. About an hour.
It's hilarious because they will argue.
Yeah, have fun. So will the people in Arizona going, it's Prescott. It's not Prescott. You know anybody named Skit? Who's Scott? Hi, Skit. How's it? No, that's Scott. You dumb shit. We're not doing this. Not arguing pronunciations of established words.
Yeah.
If you make up your own word, fine. But if it's already a word, you don't get to pronounce it differently just because you're from there. That's not how it works.
Tell the grapes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Tell the grapes.
They're not Concord grapes.
No, they're not.
Wipe your ass with some Skit's toilet paper while you're at it. No. So
they aren't called Scottles. They're called Skittles.
That's right. Damn it. Thank you. So it's an hour 20 to Boston if you want to go someplace better. It's only 15 minutes from Epping, which is our last New Hampshire episode, which is, if you remember, the crazy farm.
Oh, boy.
Sheila. And oh, boy, that's
I've been to that town. It's wild.
You should check that out. That's not far from here at all.
No, it's not.
Like one of the next towns over. It's in this region.
I've
right
been there.
Right there. It's in Rockingham County. 03044 is the zip code, area code 603. It's about 17 square miles. So it's a big area. As you know, there's a lot of, it's pretty rural out there.
Yeah, it is.
New Hampshire is not an urban state.
No.
New Hampshire and Vermont are like, it's super strange.
They refuse to be cities.
They do. There's laws in Vermont about how certain towns, chain places can't go there. And, yeah, like you can't open a Home Depot in certain towns in Vermont because they have.
Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. They have ordinances against chains, so people can have mom and pop stores and shit, and it works for them.
I understand.
It works in a small scale like that because they don't have a lot of people.
Right.
When you have little cities of 4,000, 5,000 people, you can have crazy laws that work for everybody. But if that doesn't work if you have 30 million people.
Right, but if you like to have...
Doesn't work in L.A.
Right. If you want the tax dollars and the place to expand a little bit, you got to give them a fucking reason to.
That's true, but I don't think they want to. They'd rather just have you sell, I'll buy a hammer from you, and then you have money for the hammer.
And I'll sell you nails.
Yeah, why the hell do we need their tax money when we can just have our... whatever, and then we'll pay taxes and fuck Home Depot.
That's crazy.
They get tax breaks and not pay anything anyway. That's the problem with these.
I got friends that live in rural places though, and they're like, I got to get online and buy this thing. I'm like, why don't you run down to the store and pick that up? They're like, oh, we don't have that.
Oh yeah,
are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, the rural places.
Move to where it does.
Yeah, move to where things are, as we say.
We got
a lot.
that shit all over the city.
Yeah, but man, what do you know? People like to live in the middle of nowhere and just. What did they do 30 years ago?
That's a good point.
Sit there with catalogs.
Yeah, you got a point.
Calling their orders in.
It'll mail to me.
So, Rockingham County, this area was Europeans first came here in 1623. So super early. This is old school America here. The government here in this area was kind of linked with the Massachusetts government, and then New Hampshire became a separate colony in 1679. After that. They didn't have counties for another 100 years though.
Is that right?
In New Hampshire. Yeah. They just kind of had, this is New Hampshire.
It's
all woods. No one's here. Who cares?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Back then in the
but if you break a law, like in the Tip Top, you got to go down wherever the courthouse is at?
I assume they just shot you in the woods, probably. Back then, they just put you in a bear trap or something and made you hang from a tree till you bled out.
I'm just thinking that's the whole reason for counties, right? Is to enforce the law.
Yeah, they didn't have, it's just an easier, smaller area, and then you can, have your own.
Govern that.
Well, also you can have your own laws. Maybe the people in the Tip Top don't have the same values that we'd have down here in the bottom corner.
We enjoy the murder.
Yeah, that's why all these counties are all different and have weird different laws. Fremont was settled in the 1720s, this town. First, it was part of the town of Exeter, which is, we've talked about before. Apparently this area was once famous for its heavy growth of eastern white pine trees, which is a very big thing because these trees were used as masts by the British Royal Navy. So it's a big deal, these trees.
Run your
actually.
sails up them.
Yeah, you couldn't have, this was the prime mast wood. So this was a very high value place, and all these trees were reserved for the Royal Navy. You couldn't just start making houses out of these trees. They'd be like, oh, no, it's for a fucking ship. So
our ships.
Yeah, our ships. That's how the original beef started. The residents were like, well, we need to build our houses, and those are the trees that are here.
Right. What do you want us to do?
It's like 1720. We can't bring trees in from Vermont exactly. That's gonna be hard when you could just chop that down and then build a house in the place where the trees were. It really works out well if you're find a place in the woods.
We see it this way.
Yeah, and they were like, no, you can't use your own trees to construct your own houses. And they were like, no. And that caused some...
We got rifles.
Yeah.
Let's settle this.
That's what happened here. Now, in 1734, a David Dunbar, who was the surveyor general, he visited the mill to inspect the lumber there to make sure they had the right amount of lumber. And the local citizens assembled and fired shots at Dunbar until he left.
Oh.
So, these are some angry rednecks who want trees to build their houses, and they're not having this shit.
I like it.
They showed up, rifles cocked.
Yeah.
So Dunbar came back with 10 men to,
Is that enough?
He said, I have to count the trees.
Yeah.
This is what I do, damn it. So Dunbar's group was attacked.
Yeah.
Again, they didn't give a shit, and they were they ended up dispersing to a local tavern. Okay. Now the citizens, when they attacked these 10 men, they disguised themselves as Native Americans.
Oh, that's fucked up. They came in blackface.
Yeah, they basically came in some 1984 Halloween costume that's going to be embarrassing to a gubernatorial candidate somewhere at some point. And they showed up in that outfit, and we're like, they'll think the fucking Indians did it. Yeah, we'll shoot. Yeah, because they all have the same rifles. And they're like, hey, Bob, you shoot his British fucking ass. I got him, yeah? You fucking get. They'll think it's the Indians, right? Yeah, all right. Good.
Nice jacket, Tonto.
Yeah. I'll meet you over at Sully's when we're done, all right? All right. Have a good one. No, that's not. I think they did that. Ridiculous. This was known as the Mast Tree Riot.
Okay.
This whole thing here. It's very famous. They have a plaque and a whole deal.
Sounds like a band. Like a
Mast Tree Riot. Yeah. Mast Tree Riot. Yeah, it kind of does.
Sounds like a shitty garage band.
It's a bad cover of...
That plays that tavern on the Saturdays.
Oh, my God. So the town, they gave them the township here in 1764. The governor did it and named them Poplin.
Okay.
P-O-P-I-L-I-N. P-O-P-L-I-N. Poplin. In 1853, Poplin petitioned the legislature to change its name because they're like, it's stupid and we're getting made fun of.
Right.
So all the other towns are making fun of us. They're sending over bands of people dressed like Native Americans to make fun of us. It's weird. We know it's them. They're yelling at us in like a Boston accent, so we can tell who it is, but they're just assholes.
Kicking and high-stepping and just calling us assholes.
It's never going to stop. Let us change. So in 1854, they became Fremont after General John C. Fremont.
Cool.
So there you go. He was the first candidate of the Republican Party in the presidential election of 1856.
Okay.
So after the Whigs disbanded and the Republicans came, and then Lincoln was their candidate
so he lost.
1860. Yeah, and then then Lincoln was candidate in 1860, and he won. And then things are way different now.
Way different
in these parties. So it doesn't matter here. There's a town of Benton that is also named after Fremont's father-in-law, who was a senator.
Wow.
So this is it's a deep family roster of old
politicians,
bewigged old douchebags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how it works. So they have a meeting house here that was built in 1800 that is still in perfect condition. Mm-hmm. That's still there, and it's in their National Register of Historic Places in the country, which is a big deal. The town was once home to the largest brickyard in the state.
Okay.
They made a lot of bricks. They produced 5 million bricks a year.
Doesn't seem like that much.
That doesn't seem like, I thought the same thing.
Like a small amount.
I paused to let you jump in, and I wanted your opinion on it, because when I wrote this down, I went, that doesn't seem like a lot of bricks for the largest brick. 5 million?
A brick is not that big. And if you've seen buildings back there,
that's what I mean.
It's a shitload of
just
bricks.
Like a 3-bedroom house. That's a lot of bricks.
That's probably thousands.
That's a lot. Yeah, with the 5 million from the largest.
If you're going 8 feet tall, that's a shitload of bricks.
Is there a lot of smaller brickyards, I guess, that are producing 3 million, 2 million, and it all adds up?
They better supplement.
I'm not sure.
Because five ain't cutting it.
Not these days.
There are buildings there, I swear to God, are a million bricks.
They have to be.
Gotta
I would imagine, especially the old ones here, if it's like an old apartment building. There was also Spalding and Frost Cooperage, which they made barrels, and they were established in 1874. One of the oldest operating wooden barrel manufacturers in the country. They still make barrels up there. Yeah, it's
for like wine barrels and shit.
Well, I guess wine. Yeah, liquor. Yeah, barrels. People use barrels for shit.
Use them?
Yeah, people use them for planters. People use them for. You see barrels being used as like decorative things.
I feel like there's only like
I don't know if it's as much industrial use as they used to.
There's probably only like 500 in circulation still.
No, it's just couples walking through going, "Oh, that barrel's pretty."
Right, we should cut that one in half.
That would look so good. Like just if we put it in our garden,
right?
So cut it in half, and we could have like.
Now we got 2.
It's got the metal around it. It's kind of like rustic.
Put my petunias in it.
It's rustic.
Your mom will be so impressed.
So it's so rusty. So yeah, that's all I picture here. I looked at these barrels. In 1976, I looked into these barrels, and this is ridiculous. Boy. They built, this company, Spalding and Frost Cooperage, built the largest barrel in the world.
How big is that?
Why? Who the fuck knows? Just for the record, 15 feet high and 10 feet wide. Which, I mean, that's not
that's as big as it got.
That's, I think, because there's no need to have a barrel the whole point of a barrel is to be able to transport it, because it's a barrel, so you can roll it, you can put it, stack it. How are you going to transport a 15-foot high, 10-foot wide barrel? It defeats the purpose of a fucking barrel at that point.
I guess you could fill it with foam and roll that shit down Niagara.
How do you stop it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as like a
once it gets going, we hope it stops someday, because we can't. Who's going to get in front of that once it gets momentum? It's ridiculous. I saw a picture of it. Yeah. It's stupid and it's just dumb. And then a second barrel, they said, you know what? That's not dumb enough. In 1998, they said, let's do something stupider. And the Red Hook Brewery in Portsmouth built a barrel measuring 17 feet high and 8 feet wide.
Okay.
Because that's
a beer keg.
Even stupider.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Useless. We have resident reviews, which always are very specific to their experiences we've seen. They're always just, they have a beef and they're going to air it out in this review.
Real quick, the fact that we just found out about Red Hook building that barrel
means it was pointless.
It means that Red Hook's marketing did not work, because we were supposed to know, because there was a brewery behind it.
It happened 20 years ago.
Right. We all should know that happened.
You ever see that barrel? That was crazy, right?
That's why nobody drinks your stupid fucking beer.
No. So, resident reviews here. Here's a 3-star review. This is a good one here. Quote, there are rare acts of vandalism, such as breaking mailboxes, but the police officers are responsive. Someone broke their mailbox, and they called the cops, and they were there in 5 minutes. And they went, things went well, right? That's absolutely what happened. It's so
They caught the little
personal.
fucker that did it.
There's no perspective. This isn't a reporter like going over the whole thing and giving you an overview. This is literally, that's the first line, such as breaking mailboxes. Yeah. That's the thing you should be most aware of. Someone will break your mailbox once in a while. We feel safe when we walk around the neighborhood, except when neighborhood kids speed past our home.
Right.
These are old
bowling
people.
balls at our mailbox.
Yeah. They speed past and break mailboxes. So these are old people who are frightened by teenagers, especially ones who have a bloodlust for their mailbox. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
A bloodlust for felony mailbox destruction.
Oh, boy, you don't want to do that.
That's super fucking illegal.
And it's super stupid because it's still a mailbox. Right. I destroyed one with my car one time by accident with my friends, and boy, it had a planter on it, and dirt rained down on the car like it was raining and scared the shit out of me. It was amazing. But it was like on a 4x4 that was about 2 feet in the ground. Right. I took it right out with an Oldsmobile. Tell you what, man. You got an 85 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. That'll take a post right out of the ground.
Losing a finger did not deter me from explosives, because we used to do it with dry ice bombs.
Oh, fun
that was
shit!
The greatest time ever.
Yeah. Or,
fuck.
I won't. Let's not get into bombs that we made when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
This is a different time, and the Homeland Security people they didn't exist at that point, and if they did, they would have probably been more lenient to children. Whereas now that'll be federal prison forever.
Right. You call me radicalized
for even having the thought.
Right.
So we weren't like, this wasn't to hurt people.
No.
This was like, what if we put like that piece of wood next to that? Would it blow it up? I don't know. Like,
can you turn that?
Yeah.
How much dry ice does it take to turn that mailbox inside out?
Things like that. Yeah, when you're a teenager.
A lot.
Stupid stuff. God, you're idiots. Don't ever do that. Don't do that.
If you're a child, just fucking be a kid.
Jimmy has half a finger.
I'm missing fingers because of this. Don't do it.
So, okay, neighborhood kids speeding past our home. Homeowners keep up their houses and yards well. So, that's all they don't go out of their, this is all about right around their house. They go walk to the end of the driveway, get their mail, see if their mailbox has been destroyed by unruly teenagers. If not, they
check on the neighbor's grass.
The neighbor's grass. They go the fuck back inside. The area is dark and street lights are needed, but many neighbors keep on outside lights. Literally, it's just, here's the report from my front porch.
Here's my town. Here's the report from my street. Back to you, Ted.
If you live in my yard, this is what's happening. What's happening in Ted and Mary's yard? let's go down to the scene.
The greatest review ever.
Well, I'm down at the scene here, and the mailbox is intact, so that's good. The neighborhood kids just speeding around, but you know how that is. The yards are well kept. It is pretty dark, but most everyone keeps their lights on, so things are safe down here at Ted and Mary's house. Back to you, Bob.
Kid.
Yeah, there he goes. You hear that? I don't know if he didn't destroy the mailbox because we're here or what, but yeah. So 3 stars for that. Those kids with the mailboxes. Here's awesome. A 2-star one. People either don't want anything to do with you, or the local housewife needs to know everything about you so she can have her afternoon tea with a side of drama. That's the whole review. 2 stars.
I like that one.
People either don't want anything to do with you or basically, this is a woman who moved there and tried to make friends.
Yeah.
And either no one will talk to her or she found some gossipy ass bitches that she's not happy about. So she can have her afternoon tea with a side of drama. You know what I mean, Betty? You fucking bitch. Wait, I should erase that last part, right? Let's not make it specific. Just she. Let's just say she, not that fucking twat Betty, right? Of 402 Lexington Lane.
And everybody in the neighborhood thinks that she is out to fuck their husband.
Yes.
Everybody.
And her yard is not that well kept up. I'm just going to say that. I think her kid broke my mailbox. 2 stars. So, here we go. Now, here's a 5-star review here.
Wow.
From what I know, crime isn't even really a thing in Fremont. And if it is, it's nothing like where I used to live in Inglewood, where you would hear gunshots every night. 5 stars.
Dr. Dre retired to Fremont, New Hampshire.
It's a pretty low bar. You know, people aren't murdered every night. 5 stars. Safe as fuck. Like, that's a really low bar for shit. I mean, it's not exactly mailboxes.
Right.
I'd like to get that person, Inglewood guy, together with person A.
Yeah.
And to have them go over the mailbox situation. Right. Have him be like, anybody shooting at you? No? I think it's pretty good then.
Ted,
I think it's okay. I think we're winning then, assholes. And maybe hook him up with upset woman.
Hell yeah.
I think we could get together.
Although we got a love match there.
I think that's something.
He'll tell her stories of atrocities
Let me
from Inglewood.
Yeah. Now, people in this town, population, they didn't crack 1,000 people until about the mid-70s. So
1970s?
Mid-1970s.
Wow.
They held in the 700s, 600s.
For 300 years.
For a long time. Right now, 4,589 people here.
Killing it.
Up 78% since 1990.
Yeah.
So it's commuting distance to Boston, and Boston has become, just so expensive.
Ridiculous.
It's hard to live there. So female population and male population.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's all like we blame Tom Brady for everything. And listen to Crime and Sports if you don't understand. It's a long story.
Right.
Male female populations are right around normal. Median age here is about 45 and a half. Mm-hmm. Older population, but the demographics are all kind of on the money, except for the 25-year-old to 44-year-old demographic is high. Okay. So this is a place where people come.
Commuters.
It's commuters that come. They have kids. It's the suburbs. It's, you can live out there and worry about mailboxes being broken as your biggest concern. So married population 67%. It's usually 50-50. Yeah. So it's a family kind of town here. Single with no children 3.2%.
Oh,
not a party town. No. It's usually 10%. Race of this town 96% white. 96.3 to be exact, which is roughly the purity of ivory soap. So it's a pretty white. Pretty fucking white. It's whiter than ivory soap, is what we'll say here.
More pure than the most pure cocaine, usually.
That is ridiculous, yeah. That's
a lot of white.
It's very white. Whiter than ivory and cocaine. Now, Asian, 1.8%. We have here 0.0% black, so no black people here, and 1.1% Hispanic.
That is fascinating.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, that's something. It's something.
That is very interesting.
Wow, it seems on purpose. Let's just say that.
There should be a conversation.
Yeah, something. Hey, do you notice we've never seen a black guy around?
Does it feel weird, you guys?
Do you know any black guys? None,
yeah,
right?
They live down in Boston. Yeah, is that what you say?
Okay.
You see them at work?
Yeah. About 39% of the people here are religious. 29% Catholic. As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the North.
That's right.
That's the way that works. 0.3% Jewish, so not a lot. 0.0% Muslim. Last election, 44% Democrat, 50% Republican, second in the county. It's kind of a rural county in that that's how they've voted the last 5 out of 6 elections. 6% independent too, a little higher independent. Vermont, New Hampshire, that area.
General handle of the United States.
Yeah. Unemployment rate's 2.7% because you can go to Manchester, you can go to Concord, you can go to Boston. There's all sorts of places to work. And it's a bedroom community, this place. Nobody really works in Fremont unless you work at a quaint little shop or something. It's mainly people, go outside of Fremont to work. Median income here, it's $57,000 in the rest of the country. Here, $90,709. So
that's great.
High. Yeah. 13% make over $200,000 a year, which is double the national average. So
holy shit.
This is you have a few extra bucks. You have a good job in Boston. You live out here. Your dollars go a little farther. You get a big house instead of some, tiny house. And, it works, for these people. There's a few more manufacturing jobs than normal, retail trade, like I said, quaint shops, a few more white collar jobs too, like I said, because they're available in other places. Other than that, cost of living, 100 is average, regular par. Here it is 122. So it's a little bit high. Housing is the high one. But it's not that bad for this area for, the Northeast. 154. Median home cost is $295,900.
That's not bad.
So for this region, that's not terrible.
If you're making great cash up there, that's not awful.
A lot of places to work.
But then you got that goddamn heat bill.
Oh, that's true. It's so cold.
Good
Lord. 34% of the houses were built before 1939.
How much?
Is 34%. It's usually 10%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's old, classic kind of things like that here. A lot of the houses are between 200 and 300 grand. So about 45% of them. So there's some affordable housing here. Only 11% of people here are renters. Okay. So it's a very... People buy houses. It's not a transient.
Stability.
Yes, it's a very stable area. Married, you have a couple of kids, and that sort of thing. So if we've convinced you that you need to be here, we have for you the Fremont, New Hampshire Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $2,040, which that's higher than it's $1,200 average.
That's steep as fuck.
Yeah. Your first house here, I found a value home. It's a manufactured home, basically a trailer that's in the ground. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,404 square feet. So it's got some room and it's affordable, $134,000. So that's your kind of your low end. Then I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,568 square foot house, kind of like the last place except with a yard, and it's a real house, $299,000. So for that, you're going to pay double. Then I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,700 square foot, really nice big yard with a hill that swoops down. Really nice house. It's on Lover's Lane. Is the name of the street.
Wow.
Can't beat it. And you're going to pay for it. $469,900.
Wow.
So
that's a steep fuck shack.
$470 for that fuck shack. So you're better off pulling your Pontiac over the hill and looking out at the view that way.
And then head on back to that trailer.
That's right. Pontiac's cheaper. Now, things to do. Holy balls. Okay. First of all, they have a Renaissance fair.
Of course.
Which a lot of places do. But now they have theme days at the Renaissance fair.
What?
So I had to go over this. We have to get through this quickly because their other thing is fucking insane. It's absolutely bonkers. They have the Game of Thrones Day.
No.
Look out for dragons.
No.
Exclamation point. The next day is fairies and wizards. And then the next day, pirates and barbarians. Time to play dirty. Exclamation point. So I assume there's a sexual component to that.
It's a gay day.
When I said
Come
that.
on, pirates.
The look on Jimmy's face, he was like, oh my God, they're fucking in public. Oh God.
Pirates and barbarians. You know what we mean.
They're tying each other up and fucking, it's going to be violent.
That's Twinks and Bears.
Yes, exactly right. And then the next day, it's steampunk and time travelers. Nice airship! Exclamation point. So that's what they're trying to do. Now that's bullshit compared to the other thing. Since 1985, Fremont has been the home of the world's largest snowmobile grass drags and water crossing competition.
What?
Over, this is too redneck for Jimmy. He's been to Country Thunder and his head just exploded.
This is
it draws 50,000 spectators over Columbus Day weekend, okay? It's the snowmobile grass drags. They take snowmobiles on the grass and
haul
have
balls
fucking drag races
into a lake and try to cross the water.
Separate events.
Holy shit!
Grass drags, and then they have water events, you can take snowmobiles on the water. I found.
But what happens if it doesn't make it?
Well, I think it just does.
It fucking better.
The organizers say there's also an opening night amateur competition, which I didn't know there's a professional realm of that. I think they're all amateurs. He said, quote, "It's called Run What You Brung."
Oh, Jesus.
And it's a good way to compete with your buddies without having to do all the sponsorship and investment that the pros do. There's people paying people to do this? What the fuck? This is,
without all the
bonkers.
free skis, you can just sink your own out here.
He said that, just put it right in the bottom of the lake.
Much easier.
He said it's great because in the snow you couldn't get people to come out and watch, but when it's 60 degrees out, people come out and watch. It's great. He said it started as an informal gathering of local snowmobile enthusiasts, and then it's swelled from there.
I got news for you. It's still snowmobile enthusiasts.
Yeah, it says some of the fastest snowmobiles in the world. This is on the grass drags. Compete at speeds topping 115 miles an hour.
What?
On a fucking snowmobile in the grass.
That is horrifying.
I'm sorry. I know we're going long on this, but they're going 115 on a snowmobile on the grass. That's at least as interesting as a murder. No, that's crazy.
I'll tell you this. I would love to see one of those crashes.
Saturday and Sunday, 0 to 60 times that would annihilate most supercars. It says they have a 1,000cc category.
That's ridiculous.
Also, snowmobile water crossing. Yes, snowmobiles racing on water, as it says. It's also known as skipping, and the unique oval style racing at the pond in the center of the race facility. Yes, 600 pro people are going to come and do this. And it also says, yes, they do sink. So you go until it goes. I think it's as far as you can go. It's like a tractor pull, and then you sink. And then they have to drag your fucking, your snowmobile
break
out of the
your
water.
shit?
I don't know. Who knows? Who cares, Jimmy? They have sponsors. It's all a write-off for somebody.
And then you're putting oil and gas into your water pond?
Sure.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Then you guys are going to bathe in that
There's
shit.
50,000 people here, Jimmy. This is important. We got to get
making money.
We got to get the reporter over from Ted and Mary's house and find out what the hell's going on.
I am skipping this and going to
the Renaissance Fair.
Twinks and Bears Day.
Yeah,
I'd rather see that shit.
Sounds more fun. Crime rate, what we're interested in here, property crime is less than half. It's under half the national average. So pretty safe in terms of property, as we know, unless it's a mailbox and it's precarious. Things can get out of hand. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about half the national average. So it is a safe, leafy, suburban. It's a place where they take snowmobiles
and crash them in the lake on purpose.
Race them at 115 miles an hour on the grass, which seems exceedingly dangerous. Just exceedingly dangerous. I can't even fathom the level of dangerous that is. And then they take them and purposely sink them in a pond afterwards, which is just and this is a professional sport,
right?
Not just amateurs.
Do you know how much those things fucking weigh? They're like
a ton.
They're like 1,000 pounds.
Half a ton. If one of your friends just didn't exist,
mile-per-hour rocket.
Yeah, and one of you were just getting drunk with your friends, and they were like, "Let's take the snowmobile down, and fucking just race them on the grass as fast as we can, and if we don't explode them or crash into something, then we'll just drive them into the pond." Be like, what are you, out of your fucking mind?
I'll bet you I can make it across this pond. That's how that shit started. I guarantee it.
There's like a Sunoco sponsoring this. This is crazy. So I don't know what's happening, man. My head hurts after that.
Unreal.
I couldn't wait to discuss that with you.
And yes, I'm a hillbilly. I love hillbilly motorsports.
I said
that's ridiculous.
I even said this will be too much for Jimmy in my head.
Way too much.
So let's talk about a murder. Okay. Let's cleanse our palate with a murder because that's too crazy. We need to talk about a human being for some reason taking another human being's life
to calm down,
to come back to earth after what just occurred, because that was fucked up. I don't know what that was. So let's talk about a murder here.
All right.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe. proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of people. First of all, we'll go back in time. Let's go back to 1992. 1992. We all remember the 1992. If you were alive,
that's my coming of age. Babe.
Oh, you were loving life at that point.
Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley.
Jordan,
shaping
and
my life.
And think about it. Wu-Tang's going to come out in a year. Things are going well. Things are.
Boys to Men are doing great.
Boys to Men are doing great. None of them had diabetes or anything like that. Everyone was alive.
The chubby one, nobody was even concerned for his health. The skinny one, nobody was worried.
All the wrestlers we've talked about on Crime and Sports were alive still.
Doing great.
Everything's going wonderful. So let's talk about a man named Stephen Roy. Okay, we'll talk about him. We'll kind of peel the layers of his onion because that sounded bad.
It did.
It sounded terrible. I don't want to peel the layers of any other man's onion.
Also, Stephen sounds terrible. Sounds like he smells awful.
It sounds like he's wearing 3 pairs of underwear, and I need to get at that nutsack. That's what it sounds like, and that's not what I was going for.
It is cold in New Hampshire.
But it is.
It's possible.
It's long johns, underwear. It could happen. But what I'm saying is he is an onion, and we need to peel him here, layer by layer.
Okay.
I doubled down. So
you did.
Let's do this. 1992, he's living in Fremont, New Hampshire. He's operating a business here out of his house. He is operating a software business out of his basement, which we can laugh at, but I mean, big giant software businesses have come out of worse places and shittier places.
That's how Apple started.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a genius. Yeah. We have no idea, but based on
I've never heard of him.
Oh, well, if you've heard of him, it's not for his software expertise. We'll put it that way. It's for other things. So I can't imagine he's a software wizard out of his basement, which is also ironic because he named his business Wizard Software.
Oh, Jesus.
So he, I think, was calling himself a software wizard.
Right.
He's 37 years old at this point, too, in 1992. So, I mean, he could have been... If he was a guy that was like, super into computers when they first came out.
Got into them when he was like 17.
Yeah, was building them in his garage, in the 70s or something like that, like a Bill Gates. I go, okay, yeah, maybe. Right. But it doesn't seem like
that. At this point, he'd have 20 years experience.
Yeah, based on his history, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
We'll talk about all of that. So he's doing it out of his basement in Fremont, New Hampshire. Now, he also, a couple other people live in the house here. There's a few other people in the house. His girlfriend, Maria Zarate, it's karate with a Z instead of a K.
Okay.
So Maria,
should we call her Zarate?
The Zarate kid. So the Zarate kid here, Maria, she is also the mother of two of his children.
Okay.
And so they're not married, but they have kids together. She's his baby mama. And also in the house with them is a woman named Joanna Kozak, who is 38 years old. And she is like the live-in babysitter, kind of odd job she does. We'll talk about her because she's a weird one too. But
this relationship is interesting.
Yeah, she lives in the house. She watches the kid. She kind of is his sort of like receptionist, secretary. For whatever you would need that for
Wizard Software?
For a basement software company. Right. Yeah, she does like odd jobs and goes to the grocery store. She's kind of like the live-in gopher nanny kind of just assistant house person that lives there with them. And but they're not wealthy people that are, she's not making a living.
Right.
She has nowhere to stay, it seems like, and they're like, you can stay here if you watch the kid and
weird.
Make files for me or whatever. I don't know what the hell.
My phone rings, pick it up. Say Wizard Software.
Yeah, so just Wizard Software. Do it with an upward inflection. Make them sound like they're happy to Wizard Software. Like do that. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. No, not the no, Jesus. You know what? This isn't going to work out. I need my phone answered in a very specific manner.
Say Wizard Software, then start writing every word they say.
Just write it all down.
Free room and board.
It's not gonna, watch my kid.
Right.
That's it. So, not too long after this begins, because this only goes on for a few months. Okay, Kozak is a new addition to the household. Zarate and the Zarate kid and Stephen Roy have been living. Ralph Macchio and Stephen Roy have been living together here, and obviously they have children together, and so they're the relationship, and they have this business going on out of the house. She is from Florida, the Zarate kid, and she's listed.
Why does every time?
I don't know, because I'm not saying it in a joking manner.
I know you're doing it to try to remember how to pronounce that.
I'm just saying it. I'm just saying because it's just funny to me now. But it's it sounds ridiculous too. I see a grown woman dressed in karate gear, being like, I'm getting my green belt, in a strip mall somewhere, beating up children, like Kramer on Seinfeld.
And old Roy wandering around the house saying, I'll sweep the leg. I'll sweep it.
I'll sweep Kozak's leg. So that's two women in the house, both with Z's in their last name. Which, how often does that happen?
That's bizarre.
Very bizarre.
There's another Z.
There's another Z. Jesus, the bizarre relationship between Kozak and Zarate kid. So this is the least shocking thing I've ever heard. After a few months of this arrangement, animosity begins to develop between the Zarate kid and Joanna Kozak.
Yeah.
As you would just imagine. Yeah. I mean, first of all, anybody living together, that's going to be a tough arrangement. But two women and the woman on the outside, and there's whisperings of whether Stephen Roy is banging Kozak too.
Yeah.
That's all going on.
Of course.
There's a whole lot of things bubbling in this burgoo that's happening.
I feel like Stephen he wasn't real disclosure friendly with the Zarate kid. He just kind of was like, she's going to stay here for a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah. And
we'll be all right.
It's interesting too that she would allow that based on Kozak's history and how she ended up there, as we'll talk about. This story, it's not what it seems like on the surface. It's just that there are so many layers. This is an onion, man. Okay. Now, Kozak, the reason why it's weird that she would live there is because Kozak is wanted by the police in Virginia.
Oh, Jesus.
She's a wanted woman in Virginia.
And then you put her around their own kids?
Well, you would think that right away.
Yeah.
Just the fact that she's wanted, you go, let's not have her around the kids. In case the cops raid the house and stuff.
I'm a good dad. That's why.
That would be for anything she did. That's like, let's say she had like 5 DUIs and they wanted her,
Doesn't matter.
she robbed a bank.
Check fraud. Right.
Whatever the case may be. She had a drug problem. Right. Anything is, whatever sympathetic problem with the law you can think about, it's not that.
No.
Okay. And even that would be, let's not have her here for a month. Maybe a week before she's real nice.
Go fix it.
A warrant's a warrant. Right. But the problem is the reason why she's wanted in Virginia, she's wanted. You're not going to be laughing long. She's wanted for sexually assaulting Stephen and Maria's daughter.
What?
When the girl was 1.5 years old in Virginia.
What in the fuck is happening right now?
And they're letting her
live there.
So the animosity, you would imagine, would be for so many reasons.
Oh, boy.
Just so many reasons.
These are the worst two parents on earth.
Yeah, you would think that the Zarate kid and Stephen Roy, either one of them, but especially Zarate for some reason, would have had a shotgun at the fucking front door when this chick tried to come in. Get away from my house.
Yeah.
Fucking shots into the air. Like, no, like some Yosemite Sam or something.
I'll ruin my own roof just to get you the fuck out of here.
You are not going near. Apparently, she was set for trial, Joanna Kozak, down in Virginia, and just disappeared. Took off, and where she ran to was Vermont, where she stayed with them, Stephen Roy and Maria. The last place the cops would think to look, because, they wouldn't think that the parents of this child would harbor this woman. It's crazy. So, that's nuts. So that's who we're dealing with right now.
Shit.
You have to take stock of the household right now.
Right.
Software company going on in the basement. Weird relationship between Roy and Zarate here right away. In the first place, especially exacerbated by the fact that they don't mind a woman who is wanted to stand trial for molesting their daughter sexually.
Then go ahead and stay in our house with that daughter.
With that, it's weird. This is next level fucked up right here. This is super weird. So right away, the dynamic is weird. So when I say there's animosity between the ladies, you go, well, that's not surprising on about 14 different levels.
Right.
I mean, it would be amazing if they got along. If I said everything was fine, you'd go, how? How are they?
She atoned for her crimes, and she did it to the family.
You know what? She apologized. Right. Everything's fine.
She chose to pay her penance to the family directly rather than society as a whole.
Yeah, they're not paying her. She's going to instead be an assistant at the Wizard Software and a babysitter to the child she molested.
What the hell?
This is fucking bonkers right away. So another guy that enter the picture here. Let's.
Don't you have enough going on under your roof?
And this guy, even without Always Sunny being out, his name is Charles Kelly.
Oh, Jesus.
So you basically, now Charlie is involved in this whole thing. Charlie Kelly is involved, which is Charlie Day's character in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And he is Charlie, this guy. He's fucking Charlie. If Charlie went way wrong. If Charlie had no moral compass or center, that's who he would be, okay?
This is the spin-off show of It's Always Sunny. This is where Charlie ends up after he forcibly is removed from Philadelphia.
Yeah, he leaves the city, he goes out and live in the woods somewhere.
They run out of cheese in Philly, and he's like, fuck it, I'll move up northeast.
I'll move up. The waitress was wanted in Virginia, so she ran to stay with this couple and said I could stay up there. I figured Joanna Kozak's the waitress. That's what you can picture.
She's so good.
picture her in your mind when you picture the waitress.
She got knocked up by some dude.
Yeah.
She's got a couple of kids. One of them's being molested by a transient. She is Kozak. Never mind.
There
Sorry. I was thinking she was the Zarate Kid.
The Zarate Kid, I'm picturing like, maybe just because of the Z's, I'm picturing like if Catherine Zeta-Jones is going for an Oscar. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm going to put on 20 pounds. I'm not going to wear any makeup. I'm going to pull a Charlize Theron here. I'm going to look like shit. And I'm going to go out there and pretend I'm this awful tree woman.
Allow somebody horrible back into my life.
Much child molesters into my house. That's what I picture. For that, you can cast Steven however you like. I don't really care. But
just because it's Steven and they can't get anybody else, it's Steven Seagal.
There you go. There you go. He's fat and
he can't fight anymore, so he can't fight the woman off the kids.
File my papers. File them and watch my kids. All right? You can do that for me.
If you don't, I would kick your ass, but I can't do it anymore.
I'm going to twist your arm behind your back, but you got to come close so I can grab it, because my back kind of hurts and I can't get up right now. Plus, I'm eating a sandwich with my other hand, and I'd have to use that hand to push up, and I can't really do that. So,
holy shit.
You come over here, I'm going to grab you with one hand, twist it behind your back, and then you'll know not to mess with Seagal. Now file my papers.
I'd kick you, but these bunions are killing me.
I'm in so much pain. My hips. It's just terrible. Doctor says to drop 150 pounds, but I'm thinking, I kind of like it.
And just as a warning, I'm deputized in 88 counties in this country.
That's the thing.
88 counties.
I'm absolutely carrying a firearm right now.
I'd grab it, but I can't reach it.
Yeah, I can't reach it. I traded it for the sandwich.
There's bursitis in my shoulders killing me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fibromyalgia.
So many arms twisted. This is the penance for a lifetime of twisted arms. You know what I mean? I've been twisting them forever, and I'm the one who ends up being twisted.
I picture Steven Seagal today, just wandering around bitching about the worst things.
Yeah. Did I tell you I'm Asian, even though I'm not Asian? Because I'm Steven Seagal.
I tell you, I used a shitload of Roundup and I have cancer.
Oh, that's right. I got it from Russia, too, where I hang out all the time. So it's Russian Roundup. It's extra bad. It's all poison.
You got a vaginal mesh lawsuit.
It's not even to kill plants. It's just people poison. Oh, my vaginal mesh has just been fraying like crazy. People say, Steven, how do you have vaginal mesh? I say, I'm a mysterious man. Don't ask questions.
God, I hate that guy.
Oh, he's the worst. So
it's a hell of a cast.
It's a good cast so far. So enter Charlie Kelly here.
Yes.
No Charlie Day, obviously. Here. Enter Charlie Kelly, known as CJ.
Okay.
Old Charlie, because I don't know. He also is a, quote, Wizard software employee.
Yeah.
This guy wouldn't know a software or a hardware if it crawled up his ass and died, okay? This guy doesn't know oogats about software, is what I'm saying. Nothing. Fucking nothing about software.
Okay.
And he's hired to do, quote, odd jobs. Yeah. So he's building this cast of... I don't even know what to call it, a cast of goons, I guess. None of these people have anything to do with software or should have anything to do with children, yet they're working for a software company and watching
with
children.
Kids in the house.
With kids in the house. Charlie, by the way, just got out of prison for rape.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, he's been in prison in Massachusetts for rape. He gets out, he has nowhere to go, and Steven's like, well, I already have this woman who molested my child here, so might as well.
You didn't even rape my kids. Yeah. Come on in.
Come on in. And then he gets Charles and he gets Joanna Kozak together. He goes, now you keep an eye on each other. No.
You two rapists watch each other.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, what the fuck? Legitimately, I was already calling them the worst parents. For sure, worst parents on earth. There's never been a worse parent.
And Maria, the Zarate Kid, is okay with this, apparently. So I'm speechless already.
This is so bad.
Just the scene of who lives. We haven't even got into.
There's no story yet.
That's what I'm saying.
This is just setting it up.
This is ridiculous so far.
What is happening?
Now,
where is CPS? These poor children. I want to fly to fucking New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I want to stop right now and go rescue these children.
Where are you?
Oh.
Well, it's 1992, so these children are in their 30s now. So hopefully they don't.
Time machine and a 737.
You'll need to go to what prisons are up there, probably, I would assume, if these are their parents.
State prisons for sure.
Yeah, that's probably where they're not because of the molesting, but just because these are their parents and they've learned terrible life lessons always, where you should allow felons and molesters into your home right away. That's a bad example to set. So, okay, this is the batshit scene that we've set up so far. Now, June 27th, 1992, Stephen Roy and Joanna Kozak leave the house to go on a dirt bike ride. And through the woods and trails and shit. Because, that's what you do when you're in your late 30s. A 37-year-old and a 38-year-old person should go on dirt bike rides from the house, which is just
straight from the front porch.
I guess that's fun if you're right. Like, you like dirt bikes.
I love it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Me and my friends put them on trailers and we go far from the city and we don't ride, we ride casually through the desert.
No,
we're not out shredding. I don't think I'm Jeremy McGrath.
Did any of the guys that you ride with molest any of your kids at any point? And then go on the lam from the trial and move in with you? Did that ever happen at all?
Not a common occurrence in my lifestyle.
So this is all weird. So anything that happens, you have to throw all of that backstory in, and it makes it 10 times weird.
Right.
So, Steven ends up coming back from the dirt bike ride, sans Joanna. Without Kozak.
Okay.
So, interesting. Maria, the Zarate kid, is obviously like, where the hell's Joanna?
And if she doesn't come back, where the hell's the dirt bike? Those are expensive.
Oh, no, he had the dirt bike.
He has both bikes?
He rode back. They went, what do you think? They got multiple Jimmy. Jesus Christ.
I just assumed the Wizard Software Company afforded them 2 dirt bikes.
Back to setting up the story. I apparently didn't set it up good enough. These people have 1 dirt bike.
All those people combined have as many dirt bikes as me.
Yeah, these people are not. Everybody gets their own dirt bike. No. This is a 2 people on a dirt bike. 2 adults per 1 dirt bike scenario.
Here's the thing about dirt bikes. They got pegs for 1 person. That is horrifying that they're out there on a dirt bike through the trails with 2 people on a dirt bike. That is scary stuff, man. You can't ride like that safely.
No, it's you can't do on a bike. No. When you're a kid, you have pegs and someone rides, and it's fucking precarious.
Right.
That shit. I mean,
this is uneven terrain.
And you're going way faster than if you ever tried to go on a jump with someone on your pegs. They just abandon mid jump because otherwise you're gonna die. They jump off and then it fucks your weight balance all up. You crash. That's how it works. So it's funny
to them as they're standing on
solid ground, they land and you fall and break your leg. Now, Jesus Christ. Steven says to Maria, who asks questions, where might she be?
Right.
He says, look, she packed her belongings and took the fuck off because she's a fugitive. And midway through our dirt bike ride, she realized that she could be, they could be hot on her trail. And so she just jumped off the dirt bike. When I went up to do a jump, she hopped off. I crashed, turned around. She was running the other direction.
With her suitcase in tow.
I don't know where she got it. She had to be hidden behind a tree. It was crazy.
Okay.
So, he said that's what happened. She's a fugitive. She took off. I mean, guess what happened with these fugitives? They just take off on you when you go dirt bike riding. You never know.
I can see it.
It's like having a bird as a pet. You take it out, it'll sit on your shoulder. Might just fly away someday. You never know. So he said, some time goes by though, and this happened in June, and a couple months go by. And she kept saying, that's weird that Joanna just took off and we never even heard from her. Like she just thin air. And then she never called back. Like
never wrote a letter about how she misses our daughter.
She has stuff here. She did that too. So finally Steven's like, all right, fine. I bludgeoned her to death in the woods. For Christ's sake. You fucking nag. 2
months of this, Jesus.
This is why I have affairs with people who molest our daughter, because you never stop asking questions. So if you wonder why,
look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror, Machio. Fucking look in the mirror, because I'm done with this conversation. Have a good one. I'm going to go dirt bike riding because I'm 38 years old. Wow. So he said that he bludgeoned her to death. He goes, look, remember the day we went on that dirt bike ride and she disappeared and I said she ran in that, really super plausible story I gave you? Yeah, I was lying. Super strange. We went on a dirt bike ride. I bludgeoned her to death, and I killed her in an isolated corner of the cemetery out in Raymond, which is the town next door, which, by the way, is the location of our Patreon episode that comes out tomorrow.
Great.
Is that. So,
is it the rest of the story?
No, it's not. That's going to happen here for free, but the other one's at the $5 level thing. You'll get another story from right in that area where it's all connected, Jimmy. So isolated cemetery here. It's an isolated part. He said he buried her there and he disposed of her belongings that she had with her. Trashed all her shit. By the way, old Charlie there helped me do that. So, well, I mean, he's
a terrible person.
He didn't get out of prison for rape, and we gave him a place to stay. So, when you're
keep Charlie.
When you're a released rapist, you really got to be open to suggestion when it comes to living arrangements.
Right.
Sometimes you got to help bury a body in an isolated cemetery. It happens.
It seems like a great idea and place to store a body in a cemetery.
It's perfect. They'll never look there.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's the first place they go.
They're going to dig there to put a body eventually. And they're going to come across a fucking body.
Yeah. Well, this was like in a corner that's away from the burial shit, like kind of in the woodsy area where they don't bury him. This is a former Boy Scout camp area.
Oh, Jesus.
Basically, that they have now that became part of the cemetery and the Boy Scouts don't use. So he said, I'm going to go for my murder badge and I'm going to dig this shit up and go for my body disposal badge. Yay. Got my grave digging badge. Woohoo. Scumbag.
So many badges right there.
Charlie, you know what? Prison's been tough on you, I realize. I think it's time for you to get some of your pride back and earn a badge.
Yeah.
Earn my dispose of my molesting babysitter badge. I don't know what's happening, man.
Yeah.
So, this all, CJ Kelly, like we said, he helps dispose of everything like that. So while this is going on, this is a few months later, Zarate sticks around for a while. I don't know why.
What the
knowing that he knows that she knows about the murder and all that. I don't know. I would say he's capable of anything at this point.
Yeah.
And probably want to get away from this guy.
She keeps earning worst parent ever.
Oh, every day.
Every day there's a new reason.
Every day. Well, I'd say he's the he's the worst parent.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's the worst. She's just facilitating this worst parent ever.
And
she's enabling it.
Yeah, and super following. And,
she's number 2.
Yeah,
absolutely. She's vice president of terrible parents.
Yes.
There's a terrible parent club. He's the president, obviously. His face is on the money, but she is operating behind the scenes, making things happen.
She's on the coins.
She's withholding aid from foreign countries so he can have his political opponents investigated. That's what's happening in this scenario.
Yes.
It's the only
Absolutely.
way it works. So, while
with their cabinet of scumbags.
With Charlie Kelly shovel over his shoulder. Imagine the cabinet these people would put together if you put them in charge of anything besides a basement software company. Because this is just a basement software company, and he's assembled quite the
cast of characters.
Quite the cast of cadre of assholes, I was going to say. But this here is this is next
and
level.
And his firing is super brutal.
Yeah. He fires. He's a dictator, or he fires like a dictator. He fires like it's like an Eastern European dictator from the 70s here. So now Zarate, the Zarate kid, in October of 92, a couple months later, lets it really sink in.
Yeah.
She finally says, "I'm going to leave Stephen.
Yeah,
I don't think this is good for me."
Change her name from Zarate to Zarate.
Zarate. Now, while she goes to the Manchester airport to take off to get the fuck out of there. She's going to fly away from here. She's from Florida. She's listed as a disc jockey in Florida. So at some point, maybe she was on the radio.
Yeah.
Maria Zarate. I'm not sure. That's how she lists her occupation as a disc jockey and, I don't know, girlfriend of software magnate, of would-be software basement magnate.
So she's a DJ now.
That's what she says, but I don't know if she's employed as a DJ.
Got it.
She had a job as a DJ one time in college or something and says that's what she is now.
I mean, today everybody's a DJ too.
That's the other thing. Well, there's what people do and what people is or are, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I am, and this is what I do is something different.
Right.
That's how many comedians do you know that I am a comedian?
Oh boy.
But I work in a fucking cubicle, like it's to make a living.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able.
Otherwise,
to be a
this is not a thing.
Because I make, I make $14 a month doing comedy, and that's all. That's all free drinks.
I am a comedian, but I also am a end cap designer for Costco.
Yeah, exactly. So she's at the Manchester airport awaiting a flight, and she says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call fucking cops.
Oh, boy.
I said, I got to do this. I feel bad. She calls the Epping Police Department because I think she found the number of it. Mm-hmm. This is pre-cell phone. She calls the Epping Police Department to report that a crime had been committed at the Scribner Cemetery in Raymond, New Hampshire. Okay. So she calls the Epping Police Department to say that a crime occurred in another town.
Okay.
So
that doesn't make any sense.
No, but I think she just knew the number or knew of some reason. She knew
the phone book there.
I don't know what it was. Yeah, she knew to call that. So they still, that's all they know, though. She doesn't know any other details, so there's some investigation. A month goes by, and in November, she is contacted by the FBI, who's now interested. Well, we're talking about an interstate fugitive that ran away. Once that fugitive takes off, across state lines, then you can get the FBI involved, and you also have a murder of a fugitive. It's a touchy subject.
This is a lot.
It's a
heavy one.
It's a heavy one.
Yeah.
So she's interviewed by the FBI, and the Zarate kid has quite the story. Because I killed her in the cemetery, leave me alone. Right. It wasn't his whole story.
No?
He spilled more. And keep in mind, she stayed longer after hearing this, okay?
Oh, boy.
Not only of the murder, but what leads up to it. He says that Steven says he killed Joanna Kozak after they had sex in the cemetery.
Gross.
So he had sex with the woman who's wanted for molesting his daughter and lives with him currently. They went to a cemetery on a dirt bike to fuck. I don't think this story could
get
hell
of a date.
Any scummier.
Yeah.
I feel dirty right now with these fucking people. They all have dirt all over them, like real dirt.
Yeah.
Not even just
under the nails.
Not human grease,
No.
but like they are in the dirt and now they never washed it off.
They're pawing at the soil.
Always covered in soil. So, Zarate kid. Wow. She says that Stephen told her that he handcuffed her hands behind her back. Joanna Kozak, not Maria.
Right.
He handcuffed Kozak's hands behind her back as she lay face down on the ground and hit her with a bar from a weight set.
Hey, what? How did...
Bludgeoned her with a bar from a weight set.
Put that shit on the dirt bike, or he found that shit in the cemetery?
It was probably
this
laying
cemetery
around.
Is littered with shit.
I think it's littered with shit. I think this is where kids go to like drink and smoke weed and shit. Is the edge of the cemetery.
Sit there with a push-up bar. Or something.
Like homeless. Remember the people who lived in the woods as a kid?
Yeah.
There's I remember there was this
weird shit out there.
Weird shit in the woods. Like I remember there was this homeless guy when I was a teenager, and my friend lived in this neighborhood, and there was a shopping center next to him, and there was this little patch of woods behind him. It was because there was like a stream there, so there was this patch of woods behind the store and the stream. They went to the stream, and then there was like another shopping center beyond that.
Right.
So in this patch of woods, that was where we would go to, smoke weed and fuck around and whatever and hang out.
Dog. Right.
Yeah, just chill out in there. Well, there was this homeless guy that lived in there, and he lived half the time he was like in his car out in the parking lot of the shopping center, and the rest of the time he had like this campsite set up in there, and he was this old man, and he'd just sit around naked half the time. So I've seen an old man jerking off like 30 times. Like 30 times. Like he's always just jerking it in the woods. Why do people that live in the woods have such a strong libido is what I don't understand too. There's nothing around to turn you on.
I don't know.
What are you doing out there?
I mean, I pretty much do the same thing.
In the woods, you just go sit out there and jerk it.
I'm just saying, in my abode where I live,
that's true.
I'm constantly tugging too.
Well, Christ, go in the car. It's just weird to just be sitting around in broad daylight in the woods.
Just tugging.
He doesn't even have a tent. He's just sitting on a milk crate. Just tugging on his old wrinkly cock.
Maybe he's sitting there tugging, going, "Look at me." If anybody sees this, they're obviously going to turn and go away.
Probably, yeah, I guess so. Now, so he says he hit Zarate, he hit Kozak with the bar from a weight set, and then pressed it on her throat and stood on it until she didn't
it was over.
Breathe anymore. Yeah.
And then he put the bar back on the weight set and walked away because the whole thing's there.
I had to pump up a little bit, though. You know what I mean? I did about 10 reps and then I took off. So her body, Kozak's body, would still not be discovered until December 10th. 1992.
Wow.
So 6 months it sat there in this location. 2 months after they were, 2 months after they were told about it, and a month after they were told in specific about it, they finally found it, and we'll find out how they found it because
now it's frozen as fuck.
Yeah, it's probably frozen by now. Now her body was found, and we'll find out how. Her body was found minus the fingertips.
Oh.
She had no fingertips.
Weird.
Which is strange. We'll talk about that. Autopsy showed She died from repeated blows to the back of the head, not just once, and also strangulation.
Usually your fingers pop off when that happens.
That's what's happened. But yeah, currently, usually because I'm tall, I hit my head a lot.
Right.
Usually whenever I hit my head on something, I have to pick up at least a couple of my fingertips because they drop them.
Push them back on.
It's like having AirPods.
Right.
When you hit yours, they pop off. You got to look, oh shit, I dropped one. You know,
they do go
I don't want to lose that. They're expensive.
They go right back on like bugles. So
you just stick them on like bugles. And you got to give them a twist though, because that's the problem is they get loose.
Right.
That's how it works. Now, Jesus Christ, this is crazy.
Horrible.
This is horrifying. Yeah, this is horrifying.
If there's anybody that earned one,
she
know what I
earned
mean?
it, but I don't know if she earned that one.
No.
That's
not
terrible.
Not from...
That sounds terrible. I would say this whole thing. This is no good, man.
No.
So Zarate also says that it's not it. By the way, that's not the end of the what happened. She says that Stephen told her he asked Joanna to have sex with her in the graveyard, and when she laid down on her stomach, that's when he handcuffed her and pulled down her stocking so she could not stand, and then hit her with the pipe after that. And somewhere in there he had sex with her, by the way.
Good
on top
Lord.
of it. So yeah, this is
before or after, we don't know. We don't care.
We don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Based on whatever he says to her back then. But either way,
either way, if you're aroused by that, you're sick as fuck, too.
Sick as fuck.
Yeah.
He lured her there.
Right.
Oh, we'll find out what he's into. It's fucking
boy.
sick. We're just at the top of the onion. This isn't even the part you can eat. You're still throwing these layers out. This is just...
Is this a red, yellow, or white?
It's crazy.
A yellow,
it's a fucking
it's a bad
stinky
one.
yellow.
One of those gross ones.
Yeah. So, no, it's not that gross. It's just he's just a gross person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Which kind of onion is it?
He's a shitty onion. He's a half-rotten onion. We'll put it that way.
Useless yellow.
So, that's a shit way to do this too. To tell her that you're gonna have sex and lay down and then jump her like that. It's just not. It's not gentlemanly. Look at us.
What in the fuck is happening?
That is ridiculous. Of all the words in the world, you're just not being a gentleman.
No,
sir.
you're not,
sir. That is not gentlemanly behavior.
It's not.
Now,
in my book.
No.
In our book.
In our book, exactly, because that's Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is happening?
We have our own book now. This is a problem. So, on.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
March 16th, 1993, C.J. Kelly is talked to by the police. Right. Obviously, they want to know what he has to do with this whole thing. And he says that Stephen Roy killed Joanna Kozak. He gives it right up. Oh, yeah, no, she killed him. I'll tell you whatever you need to know because, you know, I'm on parole for rape.
He killed her.
So that's how that works. Stephen killed Kozak, and he said that he himself, old C.J. Kelly, helped bury the body. Yeah. That's all he did. He's
after
like, hey,
a cheese snack.
Yeah, I had to have some cheese and some spaghetti out of a Ziploc bag, and then once I got done with that, I was there. I was there, man. Told the waitress what I was doing.
Right. There was a ham soaked in booze. Had that too.
Booze, yeah, rum ham. So Kelly is indicted for his role in assisting to, you know, bury the body and conceal the murder and all that sort of thing. Now, in his affidavit, oh boy, does some shit come out here about him. Now, Charles Kelly, he's talked to in detail, and he also, by the way, while this was going on, the reason why it was so easy to find him is that he is being held in Massachusetts on completely separate charges that he sexually assaulted a 30-year-old woman.
Again.
Yeah, again, we'll get to her, though. This is the woman that Stephen Roy hired to replace Joanna Kozak as his nanny.
Oh, my God.
We'll talk about this because she's going to pop into this, too. Yeah, so Charles Kelly is being held for that, for sexual assault.
Oh, Jesus.
So they had an easy time talking to him.
You telling me once a rapist, always a rapist?
It's super strange, right? Once an aggressively, you know, lunatic rapist,
right.
that's what they're into.
Seems to be their thing.
It's disgusting. So, yeah. Now, Kelly says he also obtained... Kelly said he was in an FBI interview here in Florida in December with Maria. Maria gives her statement, and then he gives his statement, and everything kind of gels together there because they match up here. In an affidavit, Kelly and Zarate both said that Roy told them that Kozak, he said it while they were together, Kozak, quote, presented a problem for him and that he wanted to get rid of her. That's why he did what he did. Okay. And he told them both that in front of each other.
Okay.
So also, he said that this is how this whole thing happened. And then after he said that, after Stephen told Charles Kelly about she's been a problem, that's when he took Kelly to an abandoned graveyard. That's because this is an abandoned graveyard. They're not burying people currently there.
Okay.
Let's have sex in the abandoned graveyard.
It just got grosser.
How
did riding a dirt bike to your fuck site in the cemetery get grosser?
Let's fuck on top of this Revolutionary War soldier. What do you say? That's what that would be.
Nobody's visiting him anymore. We won't get caught.
Christ.
What in the shit?
Wow. So yeah, it took him, and this is when he took, Stephen took Charles to show him Kozak's body before they buried her. This is in June, so it's warm and it's humid, and that thing is... It's fast.
Oh, yeah.
So he said that Stephen told Charles that he, quote, he killed Joanna Kozak by striking her in the back of the head with a pipe more than once. That's what he told Charles Kelly. So these stories are matching up. It also said that Kelly admitted that he helped her bury the body. Want to have it get grosser?
I don't know how.
Buries the body in June. Okay. They help bury the body.
No.
A few weeks later, Stephen told Charles that he had to go dig up the body.
I knew it.
So they went and dug up the body. Mm-hmm. This was so they could cut off her fingertips.
Oh my God. They came back to do that.
They came back to dig up the body, to dig up Joanna's body so they could cut her fingertips off.
Oh, Lord.
To make it more difficult to identify her, apparently.
But they left the teeth.
Head. And
maybe a tooth. Who knows? She's from Virginia.
That's true. She's
Who fucking
a
knows?
molester from Virginia. We don't know what's going on.
Christ.
And we don't mean to disparage the dead, but she fucking molested a kid. It's kind of shitty. And
it's
dead or not, we're in a weird spot right now where we
really are.
We try not to talk about the victims like they're shitty, but then if a victim was ready, but she didn't get convicted of it, but she still was like arrested for my head is fucking spinning.
It's too much.
It's hard for us to process. If we go a little too hard on a corpse, we apologize for this episode because we're both a little sensitive to the molesting thing. And we don't dig that shit. So
I hate murderers, but I hate child molesters.
It's what I'm saying. It's really difficult to do it. Now, also, Charles said that Stephen Roy spread pepper all over the grave to keep animals away.
Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if pepper is going to keep animals from sniffing around and digging it up.
They sniff too much, they'll sneeze and leave.
They sneeze and they go. Little raccoons. Picture them sneezing with their little robber faces. They have hands. They put their little hands up over their face.
My favorite noise you've ever made is an adorable raccoon sneeze.
His little hands up.
I had to turn away to giggle. That was too much fun.
So I don't know. I guess their theory is if you spread pepper on the ground, the animals won't sniff and dig.
There's one thing that animals hate more than anything.
It's pepper.
It's a pepper sneeze.
Nature's natural animal repellent, pepper as we know. An animal's never eaten a pepper plant, ever. Never. It's never happened. They've just stayed away. You can't even get them in the fields.
Right.
If you grow pepper, you can't even have a dog. That's the problem, because they won't come near your house. That's how it works. Do you know anything? So they're thinking maybe this was payback for assaulting his daughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe he is such a fucking... I mean, it's one thing...
Maybe he's corrected his bad dad.
That's the thing. And that's crossing the line. Maybe he says, fucking morally, I mean, I'm trying to be a good guy here, but molesting is over the line. Right. I won't stand for it, and I need to seek vengeance for it.
Or maybe there was a moment where she was like, you know what, I know I've atoned, I know I've apologized, but I really didn't mean any of that, and I'd like to get her again. Like, that might do it. That might get you a dirt bike ride to a cemetery.
No. Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about exactly why it's probably not the case that he's super mad at her for that. Roy was earlier charged and is awaiting trial for raping his daughter.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's doing it too.
He did that as well.
He's up in the ante on bad dad.
Also forgery and a felon in possession of a firearm as well, because, he's a super dangerous guy. There was a scalpel involved in this procedure, and there was something. I'm not going to get into the details of the actual whatever.
Why does he still have custody of this kid?
That's the thing.
What is happening?
So we don't know. We don't know if the daughter is here or not, or if it's just his son in the house in New Hampshire.
Any of them.
He should not have a child within 100 fucking yards of him.
He should have that in paperwork.
Yeah. He shouldn't. He should have to live like they do with the sex offenders, like a certain amount of way away from a school and a
daycare,
a church, anywhere where kids go.
Fucking anywhere.
A Chuck E. Cheese. I don't give a shit. Nowhere.
Candy store. I don't give a shit. The ice cream truck. That shit's mobile. You should have to find out the ice cream truck's route and be a quarter mile away from that shit.
Yeah. Bo, did I mention this isn't his first brush with the law and with sexually aggressive behavior, illegally sexually aggressive behavior? In 1979, 1979 now, this is, 13 years before this whole thing happened, Roy in Connecticut was convicted actually, and spent 6 months in prison for sexual assault when he tied an 11-year-old boy to a tree and sexually assaulted him.
Jeez Louise.
He tied an 11-year-old boy to a tree.
Fuck, man.
So this is not even, it doesn't even cross his gender, it crosses anything, it doesn't matter. He's a sick motherfucker.
He's just a sadist.
He
loves children.
Oh, speaking of sadist, that's not the only thing he's ever done, by the way. We'll talk more about his charges in a minute, but I'm gonna roll into them here with talking about a woman named Donna Blackburn. Donna Blackburn is the replacement nanny for Joanna. What happened to the last nanny? Oh, she left and never came back. Really?
Why is the position free?
Oof. So, this is an awfully plum position here. Now, Donna Blackburn, she worked for them for a while, and after a while became frightened for her life. Why was she frightened for her life? It's pretty easily explainable. She told her friend why. She said, well, at one point, Jesus Christ. At one point, Stephen Roy and his friend who lived in the house handcuffed me to a staircase and threatened me with a gun. So they did that. She said that she had been approached up to that point, she's a 30-year-old woman, this woman. Up to that point, she'd been approached many, many times for sexual favors by both Charlie Kelly, CJ Kelly, and Stephen Roy.
Of course.
They tried to get sexual favors, but she always refused. So then she said the men would always brag to her about, they would try to proposition her, then they would brag about having all sorts of, she said, the way she put it, sadomasochistic sex, and saying they had all sorts of bondage shit, and was she into that, and, you know, trying to see if she...
Gross.
Trying to find the nerve to hit, basically, because they're gross, too.
With two dudes
being like, you're into that, right? Yeah, can't wait.
Rapist dudes.
Two rapist scumbag rural New Hampshire assholes who ride dirt bikes into the cemetery to have sex, and that's considered romantic. Yeah,
that's red wine and roses.
This is fucking disgusting. So, yeah, she said they bragged about that. She also tells police she last saw them on November 12th when she saw. Holy shit. This was when she saw Stephen Roy sexually assault his daughter. This is what he's being charged for now also. So he's being held for that. She was there and saw it. That's the last, then she took off. That was the last thing she saw was that she saw the scalpel. She saw the whole thing. By the way, his 5-year-old son was in the room while this was going on, while he was molesting his 4-year-old daughter.
So they were both definitely there, man, when they had the other chick there.
This is disgusting.
This is so fucked up.
This is fucking horrible. According to her affidavit, on November 13th, Kelly, CJ handcuffed her to the staircase, held a gun on her, and beat her with a long leather strap.
What?
This is what she did. The friend that she told ended up calling the police. The police, this is how this whole thing started. This woman told her friend, oh my God, my job, I had to quit. Holy shit, they tied me up and beat me with a strap, and the guy molested his kid, and his son was there, and a whole blah, 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 blah. She was going off. Her friend called the cops.
Good.
And said, dude, there's some fucked up shit. There's kids being molested. My friend got tied up. So the cops ended up investigating this whole thing, and that's how this all came about. They ended up talking to Blackburn, who said, oh yeah, they did this, that, and that. They talked to Maria Zarate to go, were you there? And she said, no, I already left. Why'd you leave? Oh, because he told me he killed this one and fucked her in the woods and all this shit, and it just went backwards, and the cops were like, whoa.
Slow down.
This is
Where's
a lot.
Donna?
Yeah.
Donna, bring your ass
Donna,
back
come
over
back.
here.
Hold on. Let's get back to square one with Donna here. So this whole thing starts with Donna doing this. So it's fucking nuts here. This is a tiny little house they're going to go into, and this is when this is going to lead to child rape charges and first-degree murder and all sorts of interesting shit. So now they're looking at Stephen. Let's look at the cops are like, well, who the hell is this Stephen Roy guy? Because he sounds like a monster. Well, 1979, he did 6 months in jail for tying an 11-year-old boy up to a tree and sexually assaulting
6 months.
6 months you get for that.
It was
6
a little
months.
lenient in 79.
As we know, actually, you know what? It was because remember our first case, the Raynham, Massachusetts case, where they'd be like, well, he's, you know.
Tied him to a fucking tree.
They'd put him in he'd have to live in a home for sexual deviance, and then he could manage a Dunkin' Donuts during the day, apparently. Dunkin' Donuts will hire anyone who's a sexual deviant. Dunkin' Donuts now hiring assistant managers only if they're sexual deviants.
Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on rape.
America runs on rape. That was our slogan for them, yeah. It's disgusting. So, I love how that's a joke and we can't be sued for that, because that's a terrible slogan that no one would want. No one could reasonably take that we mean that's their actual slogan. Because no company would do that. That's why that's legal and wonderful.
God damn it, America.
Oh,
You're
God.
wonderful.
America's a terrible place sometimes, and then sometimes it's a wonderful place for reasons like that. It goes both ways, like everywhere.
Yeah. Otherwise, this
can be a great place.
Otherwise, this man was let out of prison because America's fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't go hard on child rapists.
Well, yeah, back and forth. Now, in 1986, he had these two other children, not these two children here. Two other children that he had. He was arrested after kidnapping 2 of his children from their mother's Connecticut home.
He has 4 kids.
That's
at least.
At least. That's what I mean.
Wow.
Think about it. He probably has who knows how many kids.
He'd have more if 11-year-old boys could get pregnant.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. He is a disgusting human being.
Unbelievable.
And he's going to spread his seed as far and wide as it can go because people like this always have a shitload of kids.
Yeah.
Why does it have to stop? He's going to be fertile. So he ends up pleading guilty to this, and they give him, what do you think sentence is for this sort of thing?
In 79?
In 86,
in 86.
this is.
Oh,
and you're also, keep in mind.
He's proven that this is his thing.
That he's a dangerous person.
Did he get a year?
No, he got a suspended sentence. He's good.
How do you go backward?
He's good.
How do you go backward in punishment?
Jimmy, it's been 7 years, and he just kidnapped his own kids. He didn't tie him to a tree and fuck them. So I mean, at that point, he's
still crime against a child.
It's you know what though, he's getting better. They said let's give him a suspended sentence. Ridiculous.
At least he didn't try to,
Yeah, I'd say we put him in jail for a while. Let him think about ever going near children. Now, 1990. This is when Roy and Maria, who is the mother of his 2 younger children, because he has 2 and 2. That's when they moved to Fremont, and that's when Joanna Kozak moves in with them a little bit after that. That's how this whole thing happens. Joanna was, like we said, a fugitive from Virginia, charged with sexually assaulting Roy's daughter. Now, the children, those kids, though, were in Virginia. The one that she molested, they were still down there in state custody. So they were taken away, but he has other kids here that she's going to babysit. So he should not be allowed around any kids.
No.
In January 1991, it's a year and a half before the murder.
Correct.
The New Hampshire's Division for Children and Youth Services, they told Virginia, the people down in Virginia, not to send the kids for a visit because it's not a safe environment for them. So that was their job. Is I guess they had to go up, check out the environment, and then tell Virginia whether it was okay for them to send the kids up for a visit.
In between permission.
Yeah, exactly, because obviously they're in the state. And but the problem is the children ended up coming for a few months and staying there anyway. So they couldn't figure out if it was a paperwork thing, if there was a missed signal in the different state agencies working together, or if they just said, fuck it, we're doing it anyway, and nobody paid attention enough to stop it.
Nobody watched.
We're not sure exactly what happened. So then a year later, that's when Charles Kelly gets out of jail. He's an old friend of Stevens. Hey, my old jailed rapist buddy.
There you
are. Wonderful. So this was down in Virginia, and he moves up to plenty of room. All sorts of room up here in Fremont. Come on in here. So that's what ended up happening. And then in June, Kozak disappeared. They hired Donna Blackburn. She spills the beans to her friend. Her friend calls the cops. All of this shit starts going backwards. This is quite the tale. Let's just say that.
You're spinning a yarn, sir.
This is a yarn. This is quite the yarn. Now, there is another informant in this whole deal, which is fucking crazy. This other informant said that everything the police ended up saying everything that informant told us was right on the money. Now, this other informant said that Kelly, that the other informant's Donna Blackburn, and she said that Kelly sexually assaulted her too. She said she never met Kozak. This is a fucked up thing. She never met Kozak because she was hired to replace her, obviously, but she did see a wallet with pictures of Kozak, and that she knew were pictures of Kozak because there was also Kozak's ID up there, kept in Stephen Roy's attic. So he keeps souvenirs. Yeah, that's the other thing. He keeps souvenirs, and up in the attic, that's got a very nothing but trouble feel to it. To keep someone's ID, like
anytime I see attic,
creepy.
I remember Christmas Vacation. Like you get
sitting
locked
in there.
there.
You get locked up there. The door closes behind you, and you can't get down. You're stuck in that attic.
Can't go anywhere until you step on the drywall and go through.
Yeah, that's what happens. You end up on your kid's bed. You have to step over those beams because there's no floor.
Right, or step on the beams because there's no floor.
Hit your fucking head on the other beams. Assholes. Now, the police end up, when they searched Stephen's house, they end up recovering Joanna's belongings. So they because of that tip, they looked specifically for that and found it. And so that's pretty good evidence also against him.
They watched some Christmas Vacation videos.
Probably they put some, played the films on the wall. Yeah, you put one down. You just put them on the wall. You can see them. It's cool. You put your wife's maternity clothes on. You hang out up there.
Throw a feather boa around your neck.
It's perfect. I always loved how in Arrested Development they did like the exact same thing with Jeffrey Tambor up in the attic.
Really?
He's wearing Jason Bateman's wife's maternity clothes from boxes when they came up there, and he's like just depressed, living in the attic by himself, and he's hiding.
Jason Bateman's so good.
He is. Jeffrey Tambor's he's just amazing.
He is good.
God damn it, is he fucking hilarious.
He really is good.
Hank Kingsley is one of the greatest, most awful people, great characters ever to live. That's just the best on Larry Sanders. But anyway, this Donna Blackburn, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know how much I can really talk about this, but the sexual assault, and there's a scalpel involved, and she saw the whole thing. Yeah. That's enough. That's enough. Yeah. And she also said that, oh my God, she wanted Stephen to take the child to the hospital, like a human. To tend
to wounds?
And he said that he couldn't take her to the hospital. Why couldn't he take her to the hospital, Jimmy? Quote, he had whipped her earlier and she's too bruised.
Oh, boy.
That's why. Because, it's not enough that he molests her, that he also beat her too badly to take her to the fucking hospital at this point. So if this person couldn't be any more just repugnant as a human being, there he is. Now, on the tip, they still had to find the body because all they had was literally an old graveyard, something in there. Yeah. And this is a Revolutionary War era graveyard.
Good
We're
Lord.
talking, I don't know if you've seen these back east, but every neighborhood back east kind of has these. I remember where I grew up, they would have them. It would be like,
it's like a plot of land.
It's a plot, like where a house would be. It's like house, empty plot, just graveyards. Right. Yeah. The small, and there are those white tombstones, the white stones, and it's engraved, and it's so worn now from hundreds of years of wind and rain. Some of them you can't see at all, and some of them you have to go real close, and you can make out, 1791 death day and death date and shit like that.
Put a piece of paper down and do a coal rubbing to try to find out what the fuck is there.
Yeah, it's like a Ouija board. You need a medium. When did you die?
Speak to me through the coal.
Speak to me through the tombstone coal. So they called over a detective, Dave Kelly. More Kellys in this.
Good Lord.
The Northeast is full of Kellys, you Irish bastards, all of you. So, they zero in on this graveyard, and he has his dog with him named Kaiser. This was like his first big case, this police detective with his Kaiser German Shepherd, which, if it's a German Shepherd, don't give it German names, too. You're making it a little too German.
It's a bit too much.
Yeah. He said Kaiser concentrated on the cemetery, but Kelly didn't think he was there because it appeared untouched. Oh. It was what he called there was a huge trees with complex root systems that spread all around the graves.
That's one way to confuse the fuck out of a cadaver dog.
Yeah.
In a cemetery? Jesus.
Find the body, Find the body, pup. Shit.
Get in there, fucker.
Get in there. Well, I would think after 200-something years, I don't know how much stink they would have to them. They're just bones at that point.
I don't know. It's been how many years since 9/11? They have cadaver dogs
less than 200.
I know. I get it. But...
Way less than 200. A lot less.
My point is, they have cadaver dogs work in the museum, and they find stuff every day that's human human decomp.
Which makes sense
today.
Though. Yeah, because
that's bananas.
This was 200 years. Like he said though, it hadn't been touched since the Revolutionary War era. Yeah. So the trees had grown, so the roots were all through the graves and shit.
Crazy.
Like there's no just cemetery with trees around it. It's all in the, you couldn't
It's just one body at this point.
If you went in and tried to dig it up, you'd just be hitting roots, and you would eventually hit a coffin that's been totally taken apart by roots. And
you wouldn't know where's a body and what's a tree root.
That's the thing. There'd be roots growing through skeletons, and that's the way it would be. So he didn't understand it, and so then he said it looked unscathed, and he said maybe the dog just smelled one of these old bodies. Man, who knows? Maybe he's really good.
Right.
This fucking dog's amazing. He smelled. It's a Revolutionary War captain right here. It's pretty impressive. That's impressive.
We laid out this whole cemetery and where every single body is based on Kaiser. Kaiser's
pretty good
amazing.
Stuff. He knows everybody. Yeah, this guy, he said, had cancer. I'm not sure. I don't know. So, but I guess he said he told his wife, and his wife told him to trust the dog, for his whole thing. So then there was supposed to be a snowstorm the next day because it was December. So instead he went back in the early morning and let the dog fuck around and paw at the dirt of where it was. And then he said he grabbed a shovel and, dug around a little bit and, didn't find anything, but saw the dog digging next to the hole. So he moved over a little bit and dug. And he said about 8 inches below below the surface, he found Joanna's body. 8 and not even, barely covered. A shovel full of dirt on top.
That is terrible.
Yeah, that's just lazy.
8 inches is nothing.
That's just fucking plain lazy at that point. You're not even trying.
And even more disrespectful.
Yeah.
If you couldn't disrespect somebody more by fucking him in a graveyard and then an old graveyard and then an abandoned old graveyard
and then leave
and then barely do that.
And then cut their fingertips off.
Right, and then came back to rebury it.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So that's just fucking and in his mind it's an abandoned graveyard that no one goes in, no one's visiting these graves, there's all trees going through it, no one cares. If anything, it's just teenagers to smoke weed. No one's gonna fucking look in here. Drunken teenagers aren't gonna dig in the ground.
Wait,
so
he took fingertips. Where the fuck did those go?
I assume he probably scattered them through the woods to decompose. I would imagine.
That's even worse, right?
Probably just took them and flung them around like a shot putter, I would think, and just let them go on their own. So Stephen Roy is arrested. I don't know when he's arrested. He killed her in June of 92, April 12th, 1993.
Wow.
They don't arrest him until they get Charlie Kelly's corroborating testimony of all that shit. Because otherwise it's a lot of he said, she said. It's an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend saying that he told me he killed her, and it's like, some other weird shit. They can arrest him on the child murder, child rape and stuff like that, and they do. They take him in, but that's why they wait to charge him too, because they have him on other things. So they're like,
he's not going anywhere.
Let's wait till we gather all the evidence before then we can charge him with first degree and fuck him good.
There you go.
And they charge him with first degree murder. Indeed.
God.
So, he's arrested for 5 charges, as a matter of fact. He's arrested for aggravated felonious sexual assault on his daughter, in addition to a bunch of other shit and first degree murder and weapons charges, because he had weapons around the house and he's a felon. He's not supposed to have that. It's a fucking mess, basically. He's held without bail.
Yeah, good.
It's first degree murder and he's a scumbag and, And, so there's a hearing scheduled. Roy doesn't say shit in court, doesn't do anything. His lawyer, Stephen Jeffco, said that Roy is going to plead innocent if they get the indictment. If they get that indictment, with all those eyewitnesses.
Right.
And I'd say that it's pretty clear they're going to get the indictment.
All these stories that tend to corroborate each other.
He's not the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. They were like, if we can get the indictment on this guy, we got a shot. He's a scumbag, child molesting murderer, so we can indict him pretty quickly, I would imagine. Jeffco, the defense attorney, also said the prosecutors would have charged him months ago if they had any goddamn evidence. Clearly, they don't have any evidence, or else they wouldn't wait 5 months to charge him. He says, quote, they don't have a case.
Oh, boy.
Except for all of that evidence. And
he goes back into his office and giggles his balls off that he said that,
He's
right?
like, I hope wow, we're fucked.
Well, he's got to just be like, I can't believe I mustered the courage to say all that shit.
Jesus, but that's what I'm saying. But it's fucking crazy. The assistant district attorney here, assistant attorney general, I'm sorry, he says, quote, he's wrong. We have the evidence we need. He said that the investigators, quote, put the icing on the cake after interviewing people in Florida where Stephen Roy used to live. He says, quote, Stephen Roy, we believe, is a vicious killer who deserves to be brought to justice. I guarantee you there's more bodies on this fucking guy.
Absolutely.
If you are sick enough to tie a fucking 11-year-old boy up to a tree and sexually assault him and then get caught for it and go to jail, you're thinking next time, I'm not leaving anybody to fucking to tell anybody about
and
this.
There
shit.
was far too much time between then and 92.
He wasn't just quiet chilling out.
God,
no, that's what I mean. He figured that out. That his lesson was don't leave anybody alive, I think, in that scenario.
Absolutely.
Because he didn't just stop doing that.
No way.
He was doing that more and probably killing people with it because there's
Sounds
no way.
like it.
There's no fucking way. He just.
And then you get brazen enough to do it to somebody that's in your life all the time.
And that's how you get caught.
Right.
If he did it to strangers, if he if he just ran across some woman on the side of the road or something like that, he could have got away with. See the Green River Killer.
Right.
See Gary Ridgway killed so many people because he just killed people that weren't in his
same
circle,
time period,
not in his sphere.
Right.
Exact
same time period.
Through the 80s, and that's what happened too. This is pre-DNA. This is pre a lot of shit. So he says Stephen Roy's a vicious killer, deserves to be brought to justice. Let's find out what they found in Stephen King, in Stephen Roy's house. Stephen King wouldn't even have this weird shit in his house, and he's a weird motherfucker.
He's got it all in his brain, though.
It's all up there. Yeah, he's gonna write it out.
Keep it up there, Steve.
Now they found sexual bondage photos of weird shit that he's into. Whatever. It's 92. There's no internet. A videotape of child pornography.
That's a bit much.
That is...
That's way too much.
Way too much.
Much too much.
I would say any frame of child pornography is way too much. Now, they found dildos and vibrators, which is fine.
Whatever.
How many people have dildos and vibrators?
Right.
Fucking tons of them. Women have sex toy parties where they get together and be like, I'd love to shove that in my vagina. Give me that one. I'm going to stick it up inside me.
Right.
Like, so, I mean, people don't care. That's out in the open. But he had 107 dildos. That is
a much too much.
That's too many dildos. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to judge people for their sexual shit. You could have a lot of dildos, drawers full. I don't care. 107?
That's like a store's inventory.
Yeah. More than that. That's the back room.
That's a shitload.
We only keep 60 out on the floor, though. We got another 57 in the back room, 47 in the back room. If you don't see the color you want or whatever, we can go back and check our back stock out because we have it.
107.
107 is objectively too many dildos. I'm going to go out and say. It's just too many. It's so many. Picture them lined up.
10 by 10 on a wall.
I was just going to say, picture them lined up. It's hard to just picture a pile of dildos, 107. Picture 10 dildos lined up. Okay, now 10 more times and then add 7 to that. Imagine 9 more times and then add 7 to
10 by 10 on a wall and then 7 more.
That's so many dildos.
That's too many.
Like that wall in front of us, the whole wall would be dildos.
We couldn't put...
we couldn't fill that with dildos.
No, you couldn't put 107 on that wall. That's a big fucking wall.
Our studio does not have the wall space for that many dildos, and it's a decent-sized studio. So we're talking... I say that's when you know it's too much.
I'd have to store a couple up my ass, James.
Yeah. While we were recording, we'd have to have one in your ass, and I'd put one in my ass, and then we'd have to have
couple in each hand.
A couple in each hand, which you'd want to have anyway. Feels good to just, it's not,
even out the
it's
way.
very secure to just have a couple of dildos in your hand. You know how that works.
107.
I feel 107 dildos. That's too many dildos. Listeners, we understand we probably have, because we have listeners that are in all sorts of freak, and they'll tweet about their freaky sexual shit. Do any of you have 107 dildos?
I'll bet there's not one.
Nobody, because I feel like when you're buying like 50 new dildos.
There's so many girls right now counting their dildos.
They're like, oh my God, do I have 107 dildos?
22, I'm fine.
You throw your old dildos out.
Generally,
like, I got better dildos now. Or is it like that old dildo, like it's trip down memory lane?
We went through so much
Is
together.
it like memory lane? Is it like how, I don't know.
You look at it and remember the boys that
That's what I mean.
You used it because you broke up.
It's like a picture of an old girlfriend, or what is it? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, oh boy, we had some good times with this one. I remember that one rough patch I was going through. Old Sparky here got me through it.
Your dog got a hold of it, and you're like, I can't use it anymore, but I'm going to leave it in the trunk just because we got good memories.
Old Zingy got me through it, so I'm going to go ahead and keep him for now. And before you know it, you have 107 dildos.
107 is a lot. I don't have 107 of anything.
I don't.
That is a lot.
I can't think of 107. What do I have 107 of? Nothing.
No.
Not 107. That's your soup. That's your... Okay.
I barely have $107.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like to collect things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have 107 of anything, and
No.
I collect shit. So that's a dildo obsession. That's not even a collection. Like, he should have a dildo museum. He should open the New Hampshire dildo museum, because with 107, that's not just ones you found at the store. He probably has like old dildos, like metal dildos from like the Iron Age, you know what I mean? He's got wooden dildos.
Steampunk themed ones.
Yeah, that Martha Washington used to own, like a wooden steampunk dildos from the Renaissance Festival. Maybe that's what happened. He goes there, they have
that man is known by name at a fuck shop. For sure.
Steve!
There you are.
Hey, Steve!
We got a new one.
New stock in this week. Oh, I'll take them all.
Obviously. 107 dildos, James, is so much money. He has sunk his futures into dildos.
Yeah.
Those are $40 to $80 a piece.
He's like, I have diversified. I put my money into my 401k. I have a pension plan, and I have it's spread out across dildos.
Man's got upwards of $4,000 in dildos.
He's got $4,000. Is that how much dildos are?
At least. I mean, they go anywhere from, 40 to 20, I guess, if you get a cheap, terrible one. They go up.
A cheap, terrible one.
Like
this dildo's no
the
good.
dildos that don't do anything. They're they're just hard.
So I thought it had like jagged plastic on it. I was like, what
just poorly put together. It's got a bad
it's no good.
A jagged seam.
Yeah. It calls you a bitch. Calls you a fat bitch. You're like, what the what? This isn't what I paid for. I have 107 of these?
Unless
Jesus.
you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah,
just
not
degrading you.
Bad dildo. I guess that's why you're not allowed to take dildos back to the store.
No,
that's the one thing I know about dildos. You're not allowed to take them back.
No returns on those.
No returns on those. That's all yours.
It's like
now.
a Halloween costume.
Enjoy. Yeah.
That one's yours now.
Yeah. It's all you. You wore it on your balls. So, okay, I realize that we're children, but we've talked about 107 dildos.
That's crazy.
For a long time.
So many.
But it's just so many that it's hard to get past. It really is.
There was no way you were saying that to me and me not going, wait.
Well, that's why I was like, okay. That's why I had to ask you, how many dildos is too many dildos, do you think? Because there was no way I was just going to pass over this like a list. Well, you had A, B, C, and D, and one of them, C, is 107 dildos. We're not doing that. We don't get a lot of guys in the show that have 107 dildos, and we're going to talk about it when it comes
I would venture to say that the majority of women probably, I'll bet the average, right around 7.
7 dildos, like a day of the week. Like they bought one and then they were like, well, I want a bigger one, and this one vibrates better, and I say they fill it in holes and gaps, for lack of a better term.
There's very rarely that woman that finds one and then sticks with that one forever.
I would think, yeah.
You're going to get a few to see
vary yourself up.
You got to find out what goes.
And then you pretend like it's a first date one night.
It's like shoes.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different occasions.
All right, I get you there. That's right. But is there 107 different occasions?
I would not think so.
That's a lot of occasions.
It's too many
for dildos. So now he's got sexual bondage photos, a videotape of child pornography, and 107 dildos. That's our list so far.
Put him in jail.
So I'm okay with just for that.
Forever.
Just for the child porn, and then I'm going to throw an aggravator on for 107 dildos. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's aggressive,
I'm
let's
good
just
with
say. That's an aggravator, I would say. Also, a computer disc labeled, quote, killings.
Oh, okay.
With a Z, with an S.
Oh,
killings, not killing, killings, which is interesting. I mean, that could be anything. That could be a book called Killings. That could be, we don't know, but from a guy who tied an 11-year-old boy to a tree in 1979 and sexually assaulted him, anything's possible.
Listen, it could be his garage band. There's a band called The Killers.
That's true. It could have been all of his best open mic stand-up sets.
Bang.
Killings. This is me killing every fucking night.
Every time, knocking it out.
This is all of my killings. My best open mic sets is what he did. And every time I had a good one, I celebrated with going home, buying a dildo on the way home. I had 107 good sets.
Unbelievable.
I need sleep.
Unreal.
I'm fucking delirious. I have not slept in like 3 days. This is ridiculous, but it's so funny. And I can't stop. Also, a computer disc titled, this is not funny, How to Abduct a Child.
Okay.
How to Abduct a Child.
Yeah.
That's a computer disc.
And he wrote that.
We don't know if he wrote that, if someone else did, but it seems like that's a wizard software.
Yeah.
What is software? Oh, that's discs and programs and
Floppy
things that
disks.
you put on discs as software. You put the software on a disc. So, How to Abduct a Child.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Also found many blank Massachusetts driver's licenses.
Blank.
You know, if you wanted to make new ones for people and make new IDs for people so you could have different identities and go places and be different people
How the hell
and disappear.
Did he get those?
Don't know, but that is very useful if you were going to go around and kill people and get pulled over. Back then, when the interstate computer systems weren't quite the same and shit like that.
You want to get caught buying 107 fuck toys?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, they think in his business, he was also running a like fake license business on the side.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing. How to Abduct a Child.
Unreal.
And 107 dildos.
Unreal.
Too many.
And
child porn. It's all very disgusting when you add it all up. That's not enough. Or that's not everything. You want to get creepier, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You want to even be more grossed out by this person. 2 electronic voice disguisers.
What?
With all this stuff.
No.
This is his kit.
Oh, which one are you grossed out by more? more, the 107 or that? That. Two
had
of
him
those.
Abduct a child and fucking voice disguisers.
That is awful.
And goddamn 107 dildos.
I don't like this.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
A video camera as well, because you're going to want to document your outings, and a pistol as well, because you can't. Sometimes people don't do what you ask them to do, and you need to force them to do it.
Right.
And that was, and also Joanna Kozak's wallet and personal belongings.
Yeah.
This was his little stash that he had.
Jesus, that was in the attic?
This was all his stuff that he had. That
his
was
attic is grosser than I thought.
It is the grossest attic ever.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve anyone's maternity clothes. So, wow. I mean, I'm just... Okay,
How did he stay out of prison
a breath
this goddamn
there.
long, man?
For this long? Yeah,
he should. That much shit?
Wow. Well, let's see here. The prosecutor's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That's why. And there's a whole article that I found in the newspaper now, and God damn it, I'll post it. I cannot find the person's name who wrote this article right now. Damn it. It's a really good article where it's like an editorial where this guy is saying that this prosecutor is a fucking moron.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this prosecutor, a complete idiot, and Eldridge is his name, the prosecutor.
Prosecutor Eldridge?
Prosecutor Eldridge, and he says that he goes off on this, and he's a Carlton Eldridge, and he's I think from what he sounds like, it sounds like he's pretty right.
He
and
squared off in court with Stephen before.
Let's talk about it here. The trial for his sexual assault of his daughter, Stephen's sexual assault of the daughter. This is the first trial.
Should have been a fucking slam dunk. You got a witness.
Easy slam dunk.
Yeah.
Doesn't go very well.
No.
I don't know why. They have a witness. It's Donna Blackburn.
Right.
She was there. Obviously, she was supposed to testify that she witnessed this whole thing. By the way, she's in Kentucky. She moved to Kentucky after all this down there. Apparently, Prosecutor Eldridge here didn't issue a subpoena for Blackburn because he thought of her, as the way they put it in this article, a, quote, friendly witness. They said she's a friendly witness. She'll show up voluntarily to testify. We don't need to subpoena her. Totally fine. Problem is, she didn't show up.
No, because she's fucking terrified of this man.
Terrified of him because he's a violent maniac.
You goddamn idiot! I know that, and I'm a moron.
That's what I mean, and especially when you hear what they found in his house and all this, and she was in there. She probably just went, "I want nothing to do with these people ever again. I'm not doing shit." So guess what? Roy got off on it.
Wow.
He didn't get convicted of the molestation.
He got off on it, and then he got off on it.
Twice.
Motherfucker.
He got acquitted, so they can't even fucking try him again. They got acquitted, which is fucking crazy.
I want to fight Eldridge.
So he's supposed to be tried for assault on his daughter as well. That was the trial here, and no witness for that. It is crazy. So she just stayed in Kentucky, didn't come up. And this guy didn't do shit. She had lived there for a month down in Kentucky, or in that house in Fremont with them. And she's fucking scarred for life, probably.
Eldridge, she was handcuffed to a fucking banister.
Yeah, and now she's found out, boy, I just escaped without being raped and killed.
With my life. And my dignity.
And without 107 dildos sticking out of every orifice of my and new ones that they invented and everything else. So she's probably got PTSD, and she's probably in fucking therapy.
I guarantee
it. I guarantee you, if she's in therapy, her therapist probably said, don't go back to fucking New Hampshire to relive this again. I understand it's bad, but my job is to look over your mental sanity, and you going up there and doing this is going to be terrible for you.
It will undo everything I've done and more.
Don't do that.
No.
Yeah, any therapist worth their shit would say that, because like I said, their job isn't to take care of the child that's not their patient.
No.
Their job's to take care of her. So it's basically, and they say in this article, quote, it should have occurred to the county attorney that a witness who had just been through such an ordeal just might choose to stay away.
Yeah.
No shit.
Especially once you get away.
Maybe issue the subpoena just as a even if you think she can't wait to come here, just in case. Just
formalities.
Put it on the table so she has to. Just in case something comes up or whatever.
Instead, you lose. You took the L, you dickhead.
Yeah, but this reporter found a statement from Carlton Eldridge, this is the prosecutor, who was asked the year before about his handling of rape cases, because he's been criticized for his handling of rape cases before. Apparently, he's not very good at them, and he. The reason why is I don't feel like he's that zealous about them, and let's find out why. This is what he said. I have to quote an asshole, so hold on a second here. Quote, there is a biological thing. I don't know how to build this into the equation. Jimmy's already got his mouth open, eyes wide. First fucking sentence. When you watch the Discovery Channel and you see deer and elk rutting, part of the come on is the female resistance.
Fuck you, dude.
This is what he said. We're not animals. That's the difference. Man. I get it that we're mammals, but there's a difference. We have a fucking society.
Yeah, I've never seen an antelope go pay a mortgage.
That's the other thing. I was just going to say, I've never seen an antelope be taken away in cuffs. So that's the reason why. They're fucking talking shit about his giant dildo collection.
Wow.
And he drops his big horns. He's like, I know. Too many dildos, man. Too many dildos, man. I know.
Even 82's crazy.
Cuffs behind his back. Bro, I know. I fucking get it, all right? Hey, dude, lower my fucking horns before you put me in the car, bro. They bang on the fucking roof.
Eldridge is an asshole.
That's not
He's saying it's animalistic need that we gotta chase pussy.
He even, not only animalistic need, he said the female resistance is part of the turn on.
Oh, God, it gets you going.
You can tell by watching the Discovery Channel, so that makes it okay for people. We can think and reason and go, that's not okay.
No.
If she doesn't want it, I'm not allowed to fucking take it. No. Whether it turned you on or not, you're not allowed to fucking do it. Period. End of story. Don't fuck anyone who doesn't want to fuck you. That's it.
There's nothing,
how easy is that?
There's nothing less hot than the word no in bed.
Dude, it's so easy not to rape. It's so fucking easy. Yeah. It's so when someone doesn't want to fuck you, you go, cool, and you don't fuck them. It's amazing.
It's genuinely that easy.
Holy shit. Yeah. Animals don't talk.
No. They don't even have a whole signal system.
They don't even realize what they're doing half the time. My dog will jump up and start humping on my other dog. He doesn't even have balls. It's just an instinct to hump a little bit. He's like, huh? And then you yell at him. He's like, oh, my bad. I didn't realize what I was doing. That's different.
There's nothing less hot than the word no. It's a horrible word. It's a boner killer. It should be.
It should. That means you're sane.
Right.
That's your biological thing keeping you from fucking raping. That's what that is. Or your whatever mental thing that you've built in your head. Hey, when they say no, don't be into it. Right. Cool. Boner goes away and you don't rape anymore. No. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Insanity.
There's no well. Just stop. Just don't. Just no. For the love of Christ. So, biological thing, I don't know how to build this into an equation. When you watch the Discovery Channel and you see deer and elk rutting, part of the come on is the female resistance. The sex drive of the male mounts, and the female resists it, so his drive gets stronger and stronger.
Something tells me there's no Mrs. Eldridge.
If she is one sad woman.
She has 107 dildos.
107 dildos and goes to church 6 times a week and then goes home and fucks herself with dildos.
Poor Mrs. Eldridge.
Hey, that's right. If it's not reasonably whatever. Carlton Eldridge has 175 dildos. He actually set the North American record for dildo collecting. It's amazing. Yeah. Like we said, he actually has metal ones. He has one built from the hull of one of the sunken battleships from World War II. It's very patriotic. It's red, white, and blue.
He actually had one of those divers go down and take one of the steam racks from the Titanic.
I've heard that. Yeah. It's actually, he has one made from a fallen snowmobile from one of these water races, from a sunken one. He has dildos made from that. He has dildos made from everything.
He has the Guinness World Record, so he got the golden dildo. Yeah. The good thing about it, you can fuck yourself with it.
Well, that's true. That's a good thing, which is he's kind of into because he's had some weird sexual shit. He was actually convicted of raping a nun at the age of 4 years old, which is odd because usually you don't even get boners like that. But he was convicted. It was a big nun, too. She was 300 pounds. He apparently knocked her over the head with a frying pan, pinned her down, and he said, Cosby style, ho, while he was doing it, which was like super weird. She was out cold. So Carlton Eldridge has had a weird upbringing. This prosecutor.
He's a real turd.
We can't go to New Hampshire ever, by the way. I can't ever go near here now. So I'll be in prison.
I want to fight him anyway.
I do want to kick this guy's ass at this point. We can't say that probably.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
I want
we won't.
to.
We are not going
I
to.
I want to.
We're not going to.
No. But he can go fuck himself with the golden dildo.
That he can do. Absolutely. Golden. Really make it golden. Put the flag on it, though. I want a patriotic golden dildo. I want it to be gold with a flag around it just to show how much of an American hero you are. Mr. Eldridge. You fucking tool.
Fuck yourself.
You're more than welcome to come on the show to defend yourself if you'd like, too, Carl.
I'd love to chat with you.
We'll have a little chat, and you can tell us why this is not the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I cannot wait to yank this quote back out and read it verbatim to you.
There's more. There's
Jesus.
more to this quote. So that his sex drive gets stronger and stronger. The female resistance serves a function in lower animals. Okay, that's the only thing that he said that's true in the entire. Yes, the female in lower animals, like, ones that aren't people.
Right.
They have no.
Way lower down the food chain.
Yeah, the no is a biological thing that is a come on to the male. I don't know how that fits into the equation, but we are biological beings. It's a complex subject. He just said rape is complex because animals just fuck each other, and we're, at the core animals, so it's hard to decipher.
I had no idea that prosecutors were also biological scholars. What is this?
You know what animals also do? They fucking kill each other for food.
They also eat their own shit.
Yeah, they eat their own shit. Jimmy, if you have McDonald's, can I stab you in the face for it because I'd like McDonald's? But I want that McDonald's.
But if I say no, is that a turn on to you?
Then I gotta fuck your face while I eat your cheeseburger. Get out my dildo collection if you're not careful. This guy's an asshole.
What a piece of garbage.
Carlton Eldridge, you complete and utter piece of shit.
You're worthless, sir.
You are
and you let a rapist get away with it. So you're certainly worthless.
And how many other rapists has he got? Because if this is his attitude,
right?
What do you think? What do you think if it's a case where there's not a ton of evidence, but the woman is definitely fucking, thinks it happened or says it happened to her, and this is all going on? You think he believes her?
No.
How often do you think he goes, well, you know what? This is ridiculous. How
some more
how
proof,
ticky-tack is that? Yeah. I was reading the thing, actually, if you read in the Hells Angels book, the Hunter Thompson book, this is from 1965, but in California in 1964 or 63, I don't remember, there was over 3,000 reported rapes.
Yeah.
Reported rapes, okay? So that means that there's
50,000
rapes.
There's probably 10 billion.
Well, they say it's 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So that means that it was at least 30,000 and probably 50,000 in the 60s.
Were any of them nuns?
I'm sure they were. Carlton Eldridge.
There was a 4-year-old on the loose out there.
Oh, that son of a little rock-hard golden cock on him. So,
fuck, I hate him.
Out of 3,000 reported rapes, do you know how many actually went to trial? 10%.
Oh, Jesus, that's
Do you know
gross.
how many actually were convicted?
Another 10%.
5%.
Oh, my God.
5%. So it turns out, or not of that, it turns out of 3,000 cases reported, 5% in those cases came to a conviction.
Wow.
5%. That was in 1965. So we're talking about a guy, and if he's been around for a while, unless he's a really young guy, that's his mindset.
Right.
Of, well, these girls, and they take their stories back, and they do this, and they do that. That's how he thinks, obviously. And he says, sometimes she's playing the game, too, with the no, and then when is it not no. No, that is not.
How many times has he been told no and kept going?
Oh, God, you disgusting piece of shit.
Also, rape might be the safest fucking crime to commit. Thinking about it like that is
statistically, you have the least chance of getting caught.
Wow.
It's a zero-sum game, too, because it's like you have the least chance of getting caught, but if you do get caught, you are the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
So it's
because you really fucked
pieces
up.
of shit. You fucked up bad. I'd rather have 107 dildos.
How dare you get caught?
Fucking assholes. Man, stop fucking people who don't want you. Stop. So this pissed off everybody. There's a bunch of women's organizations in the area that whose heads exploded, rightfully so. And somebody out of your fucking. I would hope men's organizations would go, hey, stop giving us a bad name.
Right.
I would 100% be like, no,
don't do that.
Not representing our part.
No,
this guy doesn't. Nothing he said is what I believe in.
He's also not a man anymore.
No, you lost your
not
dick
a man.
points. Yeah, your dick points are gone now. So he says he then held a press conference saying that he really does get it, and he knows what they're getting at, and he's fine.
Whoops a daisy.
Then he got reelected.
What?
Oh yeah, reelected.
That's why he apologized.
No one cares. Yep,
that's the only reason he apologized.
Then he got reelected because who fucking cares? That's the thing, and he proved that nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody cares
because that's what happened. It's ridiculous, man. Nowadays, hopefully that was the early 90s.
Right.
I would
no
hope.
Twitter.
Yeah, I would hope nowadays saying some stupid shit like that would. I don't care any hillbilly county in the fucking country, I would assume, would go, okay, we can't have that.
Obviously not him,
Jesus
right?
Christ. I mean, not Alabama, because they'll elect Roy Moore to an office. So that's another story. Sorry, Alabama, but
sorry. You
stop
did it to
electing
yourself.
these fucking child molesters to office. I understand you didn't elect him on this last one, but he's running again in 2020. Fucking eyes on you, motherfuckers.
Keep going, guys.
Guess what? Didn't go away. He's still fucking tried to fuck little kids. So stop that shit.
Unreal.
Yeah, we don't get into politics.
No.
Don't
That's
elect
not political.
child molesters. Period. I don't care what his policies are. Don't elect child molesters.
I don't care what ticket he runs on.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. That's not political. That's just anti-child molester, which should be non-political. That's the thing.
Exactly.
We've come to a place where that's political now. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're.
I mean, it's a red ticket, so
these left-wing assholes say I can't fucking try to date teenagers. What the fuck? No, it's not. Or these right-wing or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. It's not political. So yeah, let's notice we didn't mention a party because it doesn't matter. It's one guy's an asshole. Right. Don't vote for that guy ever. So this trial here, there's a trial for him on October 26th, 1993. Maria, the Zarate Karate Kid, is the state's lead witness, obviously. She was living down in Florida at that point. She said that he told her that he killed he said that he killed Joanna Kozak, quote, for his family, his computer business, for himself, and for Zarate. This was for everybody.
Wow.
He's making
for the country.
And for the
he said it with a flag waving.
He said it with the dildo flag in his hand. With the flag dildo, and he said, in honor of our country with this golden flag wrap dildo. I did it for God, country, and my software business. So, yeah, for all of us. So the defense, though, because they gave CJ Kelly immunity from prosecution to testify against him.
Scummy, but I mean, we got to.
Well, by all accounts, he had no participation in the murder. He only had participation in the burial of the body, and it was where he was staying.
And you have the plausible deniability of I'm fucking horrified of this man. He's got a dead body
that's
here.
The
what
thing.
am I going to do?
Now, what was I supposed to do? I was scared of him. He took me in the woods.
107 dildos and a dead body. I say
that's too much. 107 dildos. I'll spill the beans. But once I see a body, it's like, oh, he means business. Those dildos are coming into action now. So maybe he just really liked dirt bikes and liked to fire all the vibrators up at once.
Oh,
so it had like
they'll sound like a dirt bike.
Yeah, he did that in the winter when he couldn't ride. I'm not sure.
Put him on a hardwood floor.
Yeah.
It really sounds like a four-stroke.
It's good stuff.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So they're blaming, the defense is going to blame CJ Kelly. Yeah. It's going to blame Charles Kelly. Be like, it was fucking Charlie that did this shit. It was obviously him. He worked for, the defense described him, this is the quote they used. They described him as a, quote, demon gardener.
Well,
he gardens and he's a demon. Yeah. I tell you, he's all.
Does that mean he's good at it?
He's a demon out there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
$40 a month, he's a demon.
He had 180 yards rushing last week. He's a demon on that field, boy. You can't tackle him. He'll spin move out your arms and 4 touchdowns.
Sometimes a demon's a good thing.
That's what I mean. But he says the defense lawyer here, who's a woman named Barbara Keshin, she said that, quote, they disposed of her and concocted an alibi. That's the defense attorney. She said they also fabricated, quote, an elaborate charade that Joanna had taken off, which happened. Now, Maria's Karate Zarate and Charles Kelly claim that Stephen Roy told them about the killing with the pipe and all that sort of thing. And the defense just says this is based on biased witnesses, quote, not believable, not credible, which I mean, I don't know. I think all of them are. The fact that everything Maria said was backed up by finding a fucking body says it's pretty credible.
When there's facts that line up with the story.
Well, what they say, the defense's point of view is Karate, Zarate, and Kelly did it together without Stephen's knowledge at all.
Oh,
so that's why they have so much information, because they
knew where the body is. So clearly they did it.
They did it, and
he didn't know where shit was.
Did you ask him?
The only thing he knew where was 107 dildos.
Lots of dildos. He said, "I got sex toy." Maybe he was just planning on opening a sex shop.
He's an entrepreneur.
He's just been working on the graphics and the branding.
Right.
You know what he is? He's a perfectionist, is what it is. And he said, you know what? I'm not ready. I'm not happy with this logo yet. I'm waiting on that .com business to take off, and I can do all these dildos from my garage. Thing. See, the key to dildos is branding. Right. That's really what it is.
Let me get it on ground floor on the internet and get dildos.com.
Oh, man. Number 1 on the list.
I'm going to unload these 107.
I'm going to get fucksticks.net, and you're never going to fucking stop
107 will fly out this garage.
You never know.
Like they got wings like that.
And I'm going to have to buy me another load. So, now they all obviously lived in the house. Zarate said that Roy, this all started in August. So she's fucksticks.net. No good. It's not where you shop for your dildos, Jimmy. Fucksticks.net.
That was like a brain bomb and it exploded in my head.
It was a grenade. It was a joke grenade. Just throw it out there. Because about 12 seconds.
Dildo grenade that exploded in my brain and 107 dildos rattled off the inside of my skull.
I picture him blowing up, then falling down with little tiny parachutes with American flags on them, right? Patriotic.
Golden one.
Golden dildos. Salute those dildos as they fall. God
if you're a certain
America.
prosecutor, you may fuck yourself with them as they hit the ground.
Oh, please do. Just load them on up. As one hits, jam it on in there. It's okay. You're fine. Just do it like you're a human Pez dispenser. Nobody gives a shit.
Fucksticks.org or .net or .gov.
Stick them up your ass till they come out of your mouth if you unhinge your jaw like a Pez dispenser. We don't care. Dispense cherry-flavored flag dildos out of your cherry-flavored golden flag dildos from your unhinged jaw, you asshole.
Suck it and choke on it.
So, she said she was told, Karate Zarate was told about this in August of 92. She didn't leave till October.
Wow.
August, September, October.
That's way too long.
It's 2 months of fucking, of sitting there going, I don't know if this is dangerous or not.
That's waiting around 4 weeks for each kid.
Yeah.
That's too long.
Too long. In August 92, he asked her if she could keep a secret. And she said, sure. Now, I don't want anybody that I know has 107 dildos. I don't want any of his secrets. I don't want to know it. I don't want to fucking hear about it.
I've already got 107 of them. That's too many questions.
Yeah. It's just too much.
That's a load on my mind.
Because I'm a patriot.
Right.
So he says, quote, what I'm about to tell you, I did for my family, my business, myself, and for you. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. And then on the stand, she was crying, and she said that Roy told her he took her out for a dirt bike ride, had sex with her in the cemetery. Then as she laid face down, handcuffs behind her back, he hit her with the weight bar. And he said he whispered in her ear, Jesus Christ. He whispered in her ear, I guess she had yelled at his son or something like that. And there was a table that the kid messed up a table.
Right.
And I guess as Kozak had told him while she was yelling at him, this table's worth more than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stupid shit that a redneck would say, but I've heard people say shit like that before.
I've heard it a million times.
So he said as he beat her with the weight bar, and he told Maria that as he beat her with the weight bar, he stopped in the middle so he could whisper in her ear, this table's worth more than you. You remember you told Andrew that, and then continue to beat her. So he's trying to say that he did this in retaliation for the meanness to his kids.
She sexually assaulted your other kid.
That's fine.
And nothing
for... You know what? He was insulting. She insulted him a little bit, so we'll put it that way. Yeah. So, he said that when he whispered it, he told her, he said that her eyes opened very wide and she didn't move, because she was beaten over the head with a fucking thing. Then Zarate said that Stephen told her that he hit her with the metal bar twice more and pressed the bar to her throat to make sure she couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. He then said that he told her about the burial, and he told her that Kelly helped, and then she said, quote, Steve on 2 occasions went out on his bike and proceeded to chop off Joanna's fingertips so she could not be identified. He said he also sprinkled pepper to cover the smell of decay and keep the animals away. Then, after this all happened, he then took Karate Zarate to the grave so she could say goodbye.
What?
What the fuck is going on in this world?
Wow.
Want to say goodbye? He said, quote, where do you think the body is? Like he took her out to some kind of scavenger hunt. Like, can you see it? I buried it pretty good, right? See him like running out in the middle. Pretty good, right? Over here. Look at it. Not over there. What about over there?
Spin her around 3 times and open her eyes. Now you're dizzy. Can you see it?
Yep. And she said, I don't know where it is because, I'm on the ground.
I didn't do it.
And he said that she said he laughed and said, right where you're standing is the head.
Ew.
8 inches of dirt.
Oh, boy. You're legit standing right on a body.
Yeah. Then she said that, right on her head.
Oh, my God.
Then she said that Roy told her, Stephen said that he was going to take a piss on the top of her body. So, do that just to. Right there. Just to rub it in.
8 inches. Oh, good Lord.
So, then Maria says, karate Zarate, she said that, her and Joanna had physically fought each other in May of 1992. So there had been the animosity between the women had escalated to the point of physical altercations.
Unreal.
And she said, I guess, and she looked down and said, quote, "You were the one who said I was stupid. If I'm so stupid, why are you there and I'm here?" And I spat on her grave. That's just
a dildo deep.
Yeah, that's
8 inches.
That's what she said. So that's what she said at the gravesite, though.
And spit on her.
Right, so that's there. When she was taken to say goodbye.
Who's stupid now?
Yeah, because the defense was like, "What did you do at the grave?" When he said he was going to go to the bathroom on it, and she said, "You said blah 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 blah," and that's what she said. I talked shit to her dead body and then spit on her.
Wow.
I spat on the grave. So apparently they used to be pals, and but Zarate said that Kozak often ridiculed her in front of her children and others. So you can't have that. And she also, molested a kid and fucking. It's enough. Apparently, she said a few months after she took her to the grave, that's when Zarate said the reason why she left was she became afraid that she might end up like Kozak because she knows about all this shit, which is the first intelligent thing that anyone said or done in this entire fucking thing, besides the guy who wrote the article about the prosecutor, who I will 100% find and fucking give them credit for because it's a
all over
good article.
Yeah, all over social media.
Yeah, so Jesus Christ, the defense was going to call C.J. Kelly, old Charlie, as a witness because he's got immunity, and he pulled up the old Fifth Amendment on him and said nope. And
you've got immunity, you fuck.
Well, then the state refused to go through with the immunity because he didn't do his part of it, and the court denied the defense motion to require the state to use immunity for his testimony. So the defense said, force them to. You can't force him if he doesn't want to. If he doesn't want, if he'd rather plead the Fifth than take immunity, that's his constitutional rights to plead the Fifth. There's no constitutional right that you have have to immunity, but you can. Invoke your right to remain silent. So that's that. So they said the state moved then to exclude Kelly's statements to investigators at that point because it's a complicated thing. So the issue of his involvement in the crime was part of the trial. The defense, so they said, cool. The defense's theory, right from the opening statement, is that Kelly and Zarate killed Kozak to frame Stephen Roy for it. During cross-examination of the David Kelly, the dog man, Detective David Kelly, who found the body with the dog, the defense counsel got testimony that the detective had interviewed C.J. Kelly for more than 4 hours, and then after that, the state confirmed that Kelly had been indicted for his part in the murder because they just tried to put him out there like a specter. Like, you talked to this Kelly guy, right? He knew an awful lot about it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all my questions, and leave that to the jury to go, who's this? And so then the state had to go, and he was indicted for his part in the murder as well, and his thing is factual. It's not just like we're hiding the real murderer. That's what they tried to make it sound like. So the prosecutor then asked if Kelly had admitted he helped to bury the body. Defense counsel objected to the question and moved for a mistrial at that point. After a hearing on the motion for the mistrial, the court denied it and gave an instruction to the jury, and they kept on fucking going. So, closing arguments of this whole thing, defense lawyer here, he reiterates the contention that he just says it was Karate Zarate. Listen to her name.
Yeah.
She's going to go in there. She's going to go into that crane kick.
Right.
It's going to be accidents happen is what I'm getting at. They physically fought. You can't beat Karate Zarate. No, she's like Ronda Rousey, so that's what happens. Her and Charles Kelly killed Kozak, not Stephen Roy. He also said that Maria Zarate was jealous because Kozak had taken her place in the household and in the bed.
Oh,
now this is her thing. She was jealous because Stephen had taken all his dildos to another bedroom here. She's. That's all she needs. So this is what they said. This is not exactly if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, OJ style, which worked. He says, if you don't believe Maria Zarate, then you must acquit Stephen Roy. And they went, well, she seems more believable than her. How many times has she been arrested for tying a boy to a tree and fucking him? 0? Okay, I'm going to go with her then, probably. I'm going to believe her.
Can we go with a dildo comparison? If the dildo doesn't fit?
It's either or. You either believe him or her.
Right.
She's a shit parent. She seems less scummy than him.
She's a terrible person.
Fine.
I would still believe that she stuck around because she was afraid of him.
That's what I'm saying. So the DA here, the Attorney General, he argued that Zarate weighs 90 pounds.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He said 90 pounds Zarate couldn't have lifted, you want to know what Kozak weighed?
What?
240 pounds.
Wow.
She's a big girl.
That's a lot of woman.
She's a lot of woman.
For a 90-year-old woman to kick
her on the back of a dirt bike.
That's going to be a rough ride.
It's going to sound like you have a fucking baseball card in the spokes from the tire rubbing on the seat.
Certainly
it's just a lot of weight on the back of a dirt bike.
It's certainly going to smack the fender a bit.
So they're saying your theory is that this 90-pound witness lifted a 240-pound woman up and slung her around and I don't think
controlled her very well.
Yeah, she couldn't move her on the ground. I mean, she couldn't drag her if she wanted to. So also she said that Zarate also had no motive for the murder based on any of this shit. She says, quote, the prosecutor said, quote, Maria Zarate did not sit around and pine away about Joanna Kozak's love life with the defendant. They said she had no motive. She didn't care if he was fucking her. That was fine. He's got 107 dildos. He's obviously insatiable and some kind of fucking weirdo.
There's no way a 90-pound woman is satisfying that sexual freak.
By the way, anyone who owns 107 dildos, you can't satisfy them sexually. No matter who you are. A man, woman, whatever, you can't satisfy them if they have 107 dildos.
Man, woman, beast.
They have a motor that is just running at a higher RPM than you can even fathom. We'll put it that way.
And it's attached to a dildo.
It's on a fucking chain pull start, like a fucking lawnmower.
It's got a choke on it.
Yeah. You have to put oil in it. Not like on the joints. You have to put oil in it for the pistons and shit.
You got to pour motor oil in it and then put some two-stroke gas in it. Oh, man,
my favorite dildo needs a new fan belt. Jesus Christ. Fuck me. The fucking it's the serpentine. It went again.
You run down. Can you run down to Checker and grab me a new spark plug?
Yeah, I need it. It's bad.
I just fouled the plug in this one.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Running a little too rich.
It's a little rich. You see, it's smoky.
I am impressed that you got a vehicle reference right there. That was pretty solid, James.
What are my father and brother most
into? That's a good point. But I'm very impressed that you hung on to that one.
Just because I'm not into shit doesn't mean I don't hear things going on around me.
Yeah, but you hung on to and were able to reference lean versus rich. And you hung on to what rich means. That was the one. You killed it.
I know what I'm doing there, Chief.
Knocked it out of here. I pitched you a good one, and you took a huge dildo.
I took a cut at it. I took my best dildo, pine tarred up the handle, and fucking took a cut at this thing. Right in the sweet spot. Right in the trademark there.
You got it smoky.
So, man, now, witnesses testified that Kozak had been telling all of her friends that she was planning on returning to Virginia soon and turn herself in as well. And Roy objected because this is the crux of it. They said that Roy objected to this because he believed that she would say where she was and then he would be busted for harboring a fugitive. And it would look bad, because she's the one who molested his daughter and everything. So, you know how that goes. You would kind of not want him to harbor that fugitive. So they said that's why Roy killed her. Not because she did anything, but because she was going to turn herself in and that would look bad for him.
Oh my God, he's that kind of selfish fuck.
Oh, he is he's one of the worst people we've ever dealt with because I guarantee you there's more bodies on him.
It has to be.
Guarantee there's more bodies on him.
The only reason he did it is to protect himself.
Yeah, there's allegedly, but he did it to protect himself. Didn't care about his kids.
That's a great theory.
He's a scumbag. Yeah, he's a total scumbag. Jury deliberates for 10 hours over the course of 3 different days. That's some short days they have. Finally, they come back and they go, guilty. Fuck this guy. First-degree murder.
3 days of banker hours.
Yeah, 3 days of banker hours.
3 days? 10 hours? 10 hours? What is that?
What is that?
3 hours a day you work?
That's enough.
We're tired. We're spent.
Everyone who does it works down at the DMV, so they got to work from 8 to 4, and they would bring them in from like 4 to 6. It's pretty tough on them.
Let's go with they had an hour on the first day, full 8 on the second day, and then on the third day,
let's hope
one more hour.
One more hour.
Let's get
ready in the morning.
Let's get after it.
Let's go, because I got lunch plans. Let's get moving. This is Judge Kenneth McHugh. He's the sentencing judge here. He says you, is a good use.
Yeah.
You, sir, may fuck off. Life without possibility of parole.
Yahtzee.
Eat dicks.
Nailed it.
Sir. The mother of Joanna Kozak, Katie Kozak, has the fucking best quote ever on this whole thing.
Go on.
Quote, I hope he lives to be 120.
I wish she would have said 107.
Oh, I wish he lives to be 107. That's the best attitude.
That's solid.
When someone, because you hear this when people are like, God damn, I don't have the death penalty.
I want him to die.
He's in prison.
Hell.
Let him live to be 120. Let him be an old man in prison who people steal all his shit and fuck him. Have that to be his fucking fate.
I assure you, 93 in prison and having nothing and everything taken.
A bunch of 23-year-old dudes smacking him around and stealing his fucking money and his shoes and shit, because that's what's going to happen to him.
Than
Good.
burning
Fuck
in
this
hell.
Guy. Absolutely. She says no one human being has the right to do this to anybody. He's a vicious killer who deserves to be brought to justice, and that's what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So good for that. She says, I'm very satisfied, or I'm sorry, this is through a lawyer now, said this, gave a quote from the family. I'm very satisfied on behalf of the Kozak family. They've waited a long time to find out any news about their daughter. Apparently, unfortunately for them, this was the first thing they had to hear, was that she'd been the victim of a murder. Apparently she hadn't talked to her parents in 5 years.
Oh, no.
Her parents hadn't heard from her in 5 years, and the first thing they hear from her is she's dead, and she was wanted for child, all this horrible shit.
Fuck.
And the way she died, it's fucking horrible.
What has happened to our angel?
And the Kozaks, both of them came for the trial. They live in Pennsylvania. They came for the trial and stayed for the whole thing. And she mattered to somebody, this girl, this person.
Yeah.
She mattered to somebody. She had parents.
She wasn't convicted yet. She may have been a scumbag or may not, but still don't deserve that kind of fucking dispatch.
That's the thing, man. So I hate to I'm going to say this as a generalization, and it's a generalization, and there's a lot of nuance to it, obviously, but when a woman is sexually molesting children, it's about 99.9% of the time bad things happen to her when she was a kid.
Oh, sure.
Not that that's an excuse. That's not an excuse, because most of the time when men do it, it's the same reason.
Same thing. Right,
but I mean, it's for women, it's even more on that. That's
much
they would not
larger
get
scale.
that. Yeah,
Right.
So let's just leave it at that. Now, he appeals in 1993. The appeal is concerning Charlie Kelly's statement to investigators. They wanted to call him as a witness and try to tear him apart on the stand and all that type of shit. But on cross-examination of Detective David Kelly, the defense elicited testimony that he's, interviewed CJ. It's about the mistrial thing. And the question was, two questions formed the basis of this appeal, of this issue. One was, Mr. Kelly, CJ Kelly's been indicted for helping Stephen Roy bury the body of Joanna Kozak, hasn't he? And the guy answered, yes, he has. And the next question, and he admitted to you that he helped bury the body, came to the cemetery, and helped bury the body during that interview. This is when defense counsel objected and moved for a mistrial, and I guess it was late in the day, so the trial court said that they would consider it the next morning. So this judge got to go home and sleep on it.
Got it.
And then ended up giving an instruction. Emotions are high, let's calm down. The next morning he's like, we can get through this with an instruction, and does that to the jury. Also, the defense witness immunity, they argue that the trial court's failure to compel the state to request to use immunity for CJ Kelly violated his rights due to it's a whole thing that's not true. Also, the mistrial thing, they said that the defendant argues that the trial court erred in refusing to grant a mistrial after the prosecution questioned its lead investigator regarding the inadmissible statements made by CJ Kelly, which we just talked about. Right. Assuming without deciding that the unanswered questions amounted to evidence, basically. What was left unsaid. It's like when Pete Rose bet on baseball. Right. It's like, it's not that he bet on his team, it's what the days he didn't bet on his team, that was telling everyone to bet against the Reds that day. That's basically what they're saying here. They could read between the lines of what the evidence was. You could take anything from that, though. Any evidence given as a trial, you can say, well, what wasn't said? Maybe that's anything.
Speculate. We're here for facts.
That's the thing. So they tried to say that CJ Kelly stated that he helped to bury the body, and his statement to the police corroborated Zarati's testimony, is what the prosecutor says. During the defense's opening statement, the jury was told 4 times that CJ Kelly, along with Zarati, had accused Roy of killing Kozak. In particular, the defense stated, quote, certainly they, Kelly and Zarati, acted together when they disposed of her body and then concocted an alibi about where they were. Now, Now, the state has presented a very tidy story for you. Steve killed her at the cemetery. Steve called CJ. CJ came out and buried her at the cemetery. This story is from Maria Zarati and CJ Kelly. And also the defense's cross-examination of Detective Kelly linked the two, and they tried to make it like that. So therefore, they found the appeals court finds no abuse of discretion in refusing to grant the mistrial, and they find that he was not unduly prejudiced when the state asked the improper question, and he is affirmed. So he's still in there. 2004, he appeals again, quickly here. He argues in part that he was denied his right to confront witnesses against him. This is kind of a offshoot of the CJ thing. Well, if they couldn't make him testify, then I can say that I didn't get to confront the witness, even though he really wasn't a witness, because it was only in one improper question that the jury was instructed to strike.
Right.
So this is all the same question. He's just rewording and repackaging and semantics, putting it out there. He said he should have been able to question Kelly because both his lawyer and prosecutor made references to him, but the U.S. District Judge ruled that Roy's lawyer did not disclose any part of Kelly's statement to police. Quote, no Supreme Court case has held that the mere references to an accomplice's statement or confession raised the same constitutional concerns as if his statement was read and he didn't have to testify. It's not a statement that wasn't, they're saying he made, basically his testimony was let in and we weren't allowed to cross-examine it because it was through other people. And they're saying, no, it was one question, asshole. That's fine. So the judge requested, rejected his, the mistrial, and fuck off, keep back.
Good.
He's there forever. That fucking case is, the judge rejected Roy's request to rule in favor, without a trial and close the case.
Good.
Eat dicks, mister.
No more.
You're fucked. You got,
Stay.
who knows if new evidence would, I don't know what new evidence could pop up, but then he could have a habeas thing, but
hit him
otherwise.
with that? Could they just write back to him, stay, boy?
Stay. Yeah.
Stay down.
Stay down, dickhead. So, Joanna Kozak here, is buried at the Christchurch Cemetery in Maryland here, there.
She got a better burial this time.
She was 37. Yeah, a little bit better than a shallow grave in a Revolutionary War thing there.
Dildo deep.
Dildo deep, babe. Dildo deep in the dirt. So that is Fremont, New Hampshire.
Unreal.
That has to be one of the crazier,
one of the slimiest stories, right? By far.
One of the crazier, slimier, weirder stories we've ever fucking covered.
We've heard of crazy ones. We've vicious ones.
This is a lot of it.
This is just like a slug in the grass while it's raining. Just slimy.
Yeah, in Ghostbusters after the slime monster had been through and they like touched things and had like phlegm on it, like in the library. That's what this is. This whole case, all the documents are just covered in this.
It's as if Slimer just went across you.
The whole courtroom.
And you're just a goo.
This whole house had been slimed.
It's all goo.
So if you like a gooey case, tell us about it. Get on purple icon. Ectoplasm. Yeah. Get on the purple icon. Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Tell us how much you enjoy the show. Not for our egos, not because we need to hear it, although it's a nice thing to hear.
I like it.
But it's just for business purposes. Give us 5 stars. Say something. So you can even say I'm following instructions.
Say ectoplasm.
These guys are forcing me. Ectoplasm. 107 dildos strong. Whatever you want to fucking say, it doesn't matter. You can do it, and it helps us out on the business end a lot. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. Listen to Crime and Sports. First of all, I'm telling you, you're missing out if you're not. If you've ever listened to us about anything, listen to us about that. Crime and Sports, do that. Also, you can buy our merchandise there. Tons of new stuff. Cheer Up Bitch with the Skeleton. Sarah outdid herself with that design. Really cool stuff. New shirts. They have shoes now, overnight bags, these tote things, all sorts of cool shit on there for merchandise. And also, you can get tickets to live shows. Right now, there is no live Small Town Murders for sale. We have Milwaukee and Chicago in December. Those have been sold out for a while.
Yes.
And then we have April at Zany's, and that has been sold out since like the second day it went on sale, or the first day.
That place goes fast.
It's a small club, so get your tickets there for Crime and Sports on April 8th. And if you don't want that, if you want tickets for Small Town Murder, then you should follow us on social media so you can be the first to know about those tickets. Right. Follow us at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Because we like to keep it confusing.
We like to keep it confusing. It's confusing.
We want you to earn it.
Damn it. But whatever your favorite is, follow us on there. Do that. And we'll say when when the dates are and when tickets go on sale, they're first. So you'll know first, and that way you won't miss them. A lot of these venues, these smaller venues, like we just played Kansas City and we played St. Louis and in Zanies and Pittsburgh. Anytime it's in a comedy club, if you hear improv after it, that shit's going to go in 2 days probably, because there's 400 seats tops. So it's not going to go slow. Or if even the other ones, Chicago's 950 seats and it's been sold out for a long time now. So get your tickets early, and thank you guys for buying them. Honestly, it's so stressful to say you're going to put a show on the road because you don't know if anybody's going to show up.
Right.
And there is nothing worse than showing up to a theater and having to walk up to the staff and be like, sorry, we only sold half the tickets. Like, that
there's a 900 seat theater and there's 300 people there.
That's miserable.
We should be doing backflips that 300 people want to come see us.
We are.
In a town that's so far away.
It's amazing.
And then
300, it's amazing.
When you got 600 seats sitting there empty, and you feel bad for the employees, and you're just we really like us, don't we? We really think highly of ourselves,
absolutely.
Don't we?
Yeah. Look at
us.
There's
a lot of responsibility in it, and
it's terrifying.
So when you guys do snap these tickets up,
it
and
makes
this
us
tour
look amazing, and it helps us so much.
Every show,
it's wild, man.
We had 2 shows that were lighter than everything else,
and everything's sold out.
And it's still impressive.
It's wild, yeah. So
insane.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for doing that. It really means the world to us, and for buying those tickets. And we'll have a full slate of shows. We're going to try to, like we said, Pacific Northwest, Portland, and San Francisco. I know that's not Pacific Northwest, but
close
Portland
enough.
is. San Francisco, Denver, St. Louis, or Denver, Salt Lake City. All of you guys. I think we might have missed Boston.
Right.
Shit we missed. We'll be back. Don't worry about it. We just had to kind of pick different cities to experiment and see how those went this year, and we did. That said, also
see how James does in Omaha.
Not well is the answer. The show, great.
Unbelievable.
The rest of this town, I don't belong there, so it doesn't work for me.
I bet we're back.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We had fun there, honestly. So, or maybe we'll just go to Des Moines, which is close.
We got to try that.
Yeah, we got to try that. Doesn't matter. We'll be somewhere. Do all that. And if you want to be one of our supporters, one of our people, God damn it, you're part of the show. You really are. When we say you're a producer, it's not just a bullshit label. You really are a producer. You help make this thing go. You influence our decisions. And we say we don't want to fuck these people over because they give us money. That's being a producer. That's what producers are.
That's what they do.
So, so thank you for that. We don't want to fuck you guys over. And also, if you're a $5 or above member on Patreon, we do have another bonus episode. We do them every other week, but we try to put out at least once a month, if not on both the episodes, like an actual story. We have an interesting story coming up on here, too. So check that out Friday for the bonus on there. With all of that said, good Lord, Jimmy, I think it is just time. I think, if you want to be Patreon, patreon.com/crime and sports. Yeah, Patreon, I didn't do the plug. Patreon.com/crime and sports, or PayPal, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
You can find both of those right from shutupandgivememurder.com right there. Jimmy, I can't take it anymore. Tell me the people who give us money for all of these dildos. Hit me with it, please. I have so many.
And the amount,
it just says dildo money on top of his list.
Dildo money. These are the people who gave us dildo money. The executive producer dildo money are Cameron Kushwara, Milagros Gonzalez, Retta Ekstrom, Tanya Volanek, Elizabeth Jaich, I think.
Okay.
Or Jake.
Hey.
Or Jake.
We love it.
Jeff Rash, like a rash.
Okay.
Wade Osborne, Brandon Day, Chris Dobronsky, Cornelius Lee, and Sarah Bellum Gillette. And just so you guys know, the Patreon donations, I get a shout out to you when we get the initial donation. It doesn't tell me every time that you guys
and Jimmy just looks at what he gets.
Right. I just get what I get. So that's why those get in there just once.
If we miss something, hit Jimmy up and he'll throw it in there.
I'll throw your name in again. It's not a big deal.
Tweet at him. He'll do it.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
Ryan Benner's girlfriend, Allison. Ryan donated twice this week.
Wow,
and then,
thank you.
Didn't give Allison's last name. So Allison Benner's girlfriend.
Nameless Allison.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Allison. Your boyfriend's a dick. Cecilia Carter, Kobe Nykirk, Thomas Smith, Bradley Medlock, Chelsea Joseph, Janae Compton, Liz Minton, Jennifer Nadal, Autumn Uplinger, Regan Shalkley,
Cool.
It's Reagan.
Yeah,
Why did I say Reagan?
I don't know why I was like, cool.
She got her license plate in the mail. The Shut Up and Give Me Murder.
Yes,
which is pretty bitchin'.
Fuck yeah.
Looks kick ass on the back of the Challenger.
Cool. I haven't seen that. I need to see the picture. Why haven't I seen it?
I'll retweet it.
Yeah,
and then tag
I must have missed it somehow.
Yeah, you may have just missed it. Molly with no last name. Bryce Law, Fiona Gettinger, Morgan Eberly, Samantha Diffendaffer, Pierce DeCourcy, Brittany. Sorry, Brittany. Brittany Range, John Lash. He donated twice.
Thank you.
Courtney Eligler. No, Eligler. Eligler. No, that's Fligler. That's what that is. It's a PF. Sorry. Courtney Fligler. Katie Barrett, Lisa Kramer-Lape, Aaron Grumbach, Jason Ventry, Ashley Vio, Jennifer Bala, Mary Weaver, Catherine Collado. Yes. Gary Howard. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it, man. Valerie, I'm going to fuck your last name up. Viheline? Nope. Sorry. I'm sorry, Valerie. Andrea Meny, Richard Baldwin, Ben Coons, Daniel Perry, Andrea Webster, Kara Herwig, Brendan Abels, Justin Miller, Carly with no last name, Katie Krug, Joanne Ahern, Aaron Pasquale donated both ways. Thanks, Aaron. Jude Kendall, Jordan Bennett, and her Simon. Thank you. Kim Moriarty, Jared Howie, Jackie Sukup. That's what that is. Terry with no last name. Mark Foster, not Mary. I'm sorry, Mark. That was fucked up. Amy Coleman donated both ways. Thank you. Peyton Reiser, Anthony Canella, who his family is fucking. It's Laura Kopp. It's her. That's her. That's her cousin. I ran a 5K with them in Texas. Thank you, Anthony.
Laura's the shit. And if you are in the Amarillo area and you have any legal troubles, Laura's the one to hit up.
If you would like a cop in your pocket.
A cop, she's a defense attorney. That she gives a shit and
cares.
Really, she's into getting. She's awesome. Yeah.
Laura Kopp, find her. COPP. Aaron Valella, Josie Vasquez, Jason Fuller, Maggie Perry, Katie with no last name, Jesse Hartman, Bill Szynski, Tim Moretta, Jason Taylor, James Taylor, probably not James Taylor, but James Taylor, Sarah Foreman, Rick Radford, Liz Vasquez, thank you, Liz, Brenda Sizipkowski, that's what that is, Chance Hurley, Beth Green, James Martyr, Julian Sparrow, Kim Blevins, and Drake. And you don't have to. I know who you are, Kim. That's the thing about this too, is that these names, I see them so frequently. I recognize you guys, and then when I see you at shows and you tell me who you are, I tend to remember. Kim and Drake, I'll never forget you guys. Amanda Davis, RK with no last name, Peyton Meadows, Thomas Spade, the letter J, I guess.
Brought to you by the letter J. Very nice.
Steve Schnell, thanks, Steve. Carol Braun, it was fucking amazing to meet you. Carol. Thank you for coming to that show. That was here, right?
Yes.
Was it at the Private Sports?
Yeah, I think so. Dude, they're all
Carol was so great.
I remember her, but the venues are all meshed together many people. In my brain.
Yeah. Regina Frankfurt. Home stretch is the last page. It's a lot of fucking people.
Thank you, guys.
William Wheat, Jasmine Baker, Robin Willis. No, it's not. It's Robert Willis, I think.
Thank you, Robert.
Thew Nguyen Nguyen. I'm not going to ever pronounce that right. I'm so sorry. I'm a fucking idiot.
Somebody Southeast Asian. Thank you very much.
Matthew Parcel, Fanny Omar's daughter, I think.
Cool.
I don't think that's real, but Shannon Russell,
we'll
Tim Barr, Bobby Sons, Joel Stouffer donated both ways. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
Julie Hewin, S.J. Ross, Shabnam Ra?
All right.
Probably not.
Thank you.
Christy Martin, Nikki Spence, Shailene Wilson, Janet Cunningham, Jeanette Pamaleon. Nope. Ari Karasan.
That's all of them.
Amanda Imun, Erica Sooks. It's not Sucks, right? It's not that. Hawk Betta. I guess he bets on the Hawks. Shelly Johnson, Kevin Anderson, Jordan Cardona, Stacy Turner, Renee Kellogg. I hope you're one of them. Tommy McAnulty, Sarah Broom, Jeremy Phillips, Peggy Simmons, Ariana Gonzalez, Bailey Furness, Steve Swanson, Sharon Carter, Mike Shanahan, probably not, but I hope so.
With his fucking George Bush eyes.
Yes, sir. Go win those games. Not for anybody. Betsy Cullerton, I think he's out of the league now. I think he quit.
Probably.
I think it's done.
Washington
broke him.
Huge contract. Yeah. Broke him. He went, I'm going home and collect my...
Fuck it. I'll just
$30 million.
I can get paid and not do this.
Yay.
Not lose on Sunday.
Yay, this is great.
Keegan Herrera, Cheyenne Wright, Tammy Abbott Thiel, Ashley Arnold, Cindy Candy Fagan, Matt Ficendi, Mary Petrowski, Kara Matty, Alexandra Ariza, Chris with no last name, Rob Segal, I hope you're related to him, Dale Caldwell, Amy Booth, Lucky Williams, Peter Stone, Ryan Phelps, she's wonderful. Thank you, Ryan. Ray Lamonman, Lucas Malik, Aspen Cloud, and fucking every one of our Patreon donors.
Thank you,
You guys are amazing, and you do insane things for us that you have no idea how much easier you make this.
You affect our lives.
Truly.
I just hope you know that.
Changing things.
Really do. You change our lives, and thank you guys so much for everything you do. Quickly, I want to say one thing. I'm going to reiterate this on Crime and Sports because it's more of a crime and sports thing, but I've gotten like a couple, not a lot, but Lenny Dykstra's always talking to us now and hanging out with us. He's a guy that we did, if you don't know, on Crime and Sports. He's one of our subjects that we did 2 shows on, actually, and he was a professional baseball player.
We both
a very
loved him
good one,
up.
a very good player, and he had some problems, and obviously, because we covered him on Crime and Sports twice, so you gotta have some problems.
That's a lot of problems.
But recently, he's taken to the show and listens to it, and, he'll take on the chin anything he did, and he's like, fuck it, I did it. Well, I'm stupid. What do you want? And he keeps going on.
I made mistakes.
And so we talk to him now, and he talks to us, and we're fucking nice to him because he's been nice to us. And anybody who has the self-awareness to go, you know what? They made fun of me for a bunch of times, but I did some dumb shit. Hey, what are you going to do? Who cares? That's an all right dude to us.
Right.
It just is. And so, unless the people are like child molesters or rapists or murderers or fucking violent wife beaters and shit like that, other than that, you can be redeemed a lot easily. And if you just fucked up sometimes, neither of us are perfect people.
No.
You don't know how many of my friends have done so many crimes and been in jail and all this type of shit. I did tons of stuff when I was a kid. We've done tons of stupid shit.
I've done way more things to
we're
be
not
thrown
judging
in jail.
people. Yeah, we're just making jokes. So that's the thing. So if you ask me, why are you going to be nice to Lenny? Because he's not a fucking bad guy to me. That's why. He didn't bilk me for money back when he did that investor thing. And I feel like everything he tried to do, I feel like he's one of these guys that tried to do good and things would fall apart and he didn't know how to fix it. So he would just fucking, lie more. So that happens. And there's a lot of people that do that. It doesn't make them terrible people that should be ostracized from society.
A prosecutor said that no is kind of hot. I don't think Lenny Dykstra has ever said those words.
Lenny Dykstra would be like, dude, what the fuck if he heard that comment? So, he's better than that prosecutor. So with that said.
And also, the point is, without you guys, Lenny wouldn't know who the fuck we are.
So
you
thank you guys for that.
Making these shows what they are put us on the radar of a man who's a hero to us as children.
Pretty cool shit.
It's pretty fucking rad.
So Jimmy, what if they wanted to get a hold of you and tell you they needed to give you extra dildos?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And if you want to follow there, sometimes people have tickets that are for sold out shows.
That's true too.
And when if they come available, we retweet them.
Yeah.
And so follow there. And if you guys want tickets to things like that, they'll show up for you. So do that. What about you?
Plus they have a pretty cool little community. Those people, they're all pretty nice and supportive of each other.
It's
and
crazy.
They're pretty cool people and pretty funny. You can find me at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description because it's a lot easier, and you can find me like that. Do all of that. Find us, follow us, keep listening. Listen to Crime and Sports on Tuesdays. And with that said, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.